The red cauldron is bubbling over once again to the sound of anti-lag, to the sound of internal combustion, and to the supreme action of rallycross. Welcome along to the Euro RX of Hungary here in Nyirád. My name is Tom Brooks. Alongside me, Hal Ridge. Hal, it's been an amazing day's worth of action so far. We're ready for the semis. We're ready for the finals to come up along the way today. It's baking hot out. The fans are lining the grandstands. I can't wait.
This is where it really counts. The semi-finals, you must do well, be in the top three to progress through to the final, have a chance to win this event.
Let's have a look at some of the best moments of the day so far. This was Johan Kristoffersson on the opening lap of Q4. Ran it super deep. Just about managed to gather it up into turn 4. He would eventually go on to finish behind Andreas Bakkerud. This is Patrick O'Donovan. He had a big crash. Amazingly managed to get out, though, for the quarter-finals.
And across the bottom of your screen outlines where we are in this fantastic event. We've done qualifying. We've done the quarter-finals for RX1. Now it's the semi-finals for all of the classes. You're about to see the top 3 from each of those progress through to the 6-car finals, where we will be crowning our podium finishers in every category this afternoon.
There is your man who has led the top of the standings so far this weekend, Andreas Bakkerud, on great form in the set promotion Ford Fiesta. He's closely being nipped at the heels, though, by Johan Kristoffersson, the 8-time world champion. Let's run you through the order of today then and what we've got coming up here this afternoon in Hungary. So Euro RX semi-finals for RX5 first of all, then it's semi-finals for RX3, then the semi-finals of course for RX1. Then we go through into our first of the finals just after 2 p.m. RX5, RX4, RX3, and then RX1 of course to conclude things here today. And let's have a closer look then, shall we, at this Nyirád circuit then. It is known as the Red Cauldron for a reason, because there's a big layer of red dust around here. And you can see it's an anti-clockwise layout, a 48-52 split in terms of asphalt and gravel. Anti-clockwise layout. That first corner in particular has been the scene of some drama this weekend. I can only imagine that's going to increase here for the semis.
Absolutely. Drivers are going to get desperate now because they want to do well to finish their weekend. We ride on board with the drone heading into the opening corner. There's a bit of a lip in the mid part just by that machine there in the shot that really unsettles the car. New tarmac at the exit of the corner, and then the super tight turn 2 leads you into this long uphill climb through turn 3 into turn 4, and then it's super fast down the hill into this section. The Joker splits to the right, standard lap to the left, super high commitment down here. The car will step out, but then you've got to get it stopped for the tightest corner on the circuit down here at the hairpin. Then it's all about getting a nice clean drive on the loose surface section, up the hill, round to the right, avoiding the barrier on the left-hand side, and then getting it nice, neat and tiny. New tarmac as well for this year in the middle part of this final corner as you drive to the finish line.
Yeah, it's a very exciting circuit, and it's proved to be brilliant in terms of the racing action that we've seen so far this weekend. You can see trees lining all around. We are pretty much in the middle of nowhere here, to be honest with you. Nyirád, the nearest village, population of about just 2,000 people. We're about 25 kilometres north of Lake Balaton as well. Of course, Hungary's a landlocked country, so seeing actually large bodies of water here is quite a rare thing. But you can see the fans have made the pilgrimage into the grandstands. They have really enjoyed things here so far this weekend. You can see the umbrellas up there as well. It's absolutely baking hot, and it is probably the hottest it's been actually so far this weekend. Let's get the first of our semi-finals then underway here in Hungary. RX5 semi-final 1 up first of all. Martin Nyirád on pole position with Valentin Comte alongside on the front row. Row 2, the Estonian Armin Raag with Diego Martinez Gonzalez, the Spaniard, for company. And then the third and final row, Flavio Martins, younger brother to Paolo. He's got Otto Horvath, the Hungarian driver, hometown hero. He'll be hoping to put on a good show for the crowd here this weekend. A reminder, of course, with 6 drivers, that the top 3 will go through. Drivers lined up on the grid then, ready to go for semi-final 1 of RX5. Martin Nyirád on pole position on the far left-hand corner of your screen with the green and yellow machine. Alongside him on that front row is the Frenchman, Valentin Comte. He's been third so far in the overall qualifying standings, has had good pace, but will he be able to secure himself a spot in the final? Of course, we up it from 4 laps up to 6 laps now, don't we, for the semi-finals, and this is going to make things quite interesting in terms of the strategy.
And the first time that these drivers have started in the staggered grid formation rather than the 5 wide abreast start for the qualifiers.
Yeah, slight delay here by the looks of things. Hal as well, just a notice coming up at the top of the grid. So we'll wait and see what that's all about. All the drivers are there and lined up and ready to go, so hopefully it won't be too long of a delay, and then we can get the action beginning here in Hungary. You can see the heat haze coming off the back of some of these cars. These RX5 machines, cross cars, as I'm sure you'll probably be aware of them. They've got 600cc, 4-cylinder engines, motorbike engines in the back of them, and they do produce a fair amount of heat and also a lot of noise as well. They weigh next to nothing also, and you'll see them getting airborne at certain points over the course of this 1.2 or indeed 1.9 kilometre long lap, depending on if you're in the Joker or not. I wonder whether the problem here is for Diego Martinez on that second row of the grid here, Hal. You can see the wheels pointing to the right-hand side, and it looks like there might be an issue for the Spaniard on that second row. Wait and see what that's
weird,
all
isn't
about.
It, having full lock on at that stage, unless you want to go wrong direction around the track. Yeah, not really sure what's going on there. The car isn't central with the start marker either. Oh, is that because there's a little incline in the grid, Tom, and I wonder if just by having that lock on, it's stopping the car rolling, because you don't want to be sat on the brakes at this stage. The brake pads get hot, there's a lot of heat in the corners, and the brake pads can potentially stick. So have they wound the lock on to the cars just to stop them rolling away?
Yeah,
we don't know.
That's the thing. We'll find out, won't we? But yeah, as you say, these machines, of course, very unique on the Euro RX grid in terms of the fact that they've got no reverse gear, being a motorbike engine, of course, a sequential gearbox, and also the bike clutches as well. It does make them a little bit tricky to get off of the line, and also the fact that they don't weigh anything as well does mean that they have a habit of rolling back with that slight incline there on the grid. So still waiting for a bit of news as to when this race will get underway. Shouldn't be too long with a bit of luck, and we'll see what is going to happen here for this one. But Martin Nyirád, top qualifier in RX5 as it stands for now. Marco Muru, he'll be out in the second of the semi-finals in a few moments' time. Let's have you looking at some of the drama that we've had unfold throughout the Sunday here in Hungary then, because it hasn't been a particularly incident-free affair, least of all in Q4 earlier on here this afternoon. This is what we saw with Johan Kristoffersson. He had a massive, massive moment coming through that right-hander, Hal.
I'm going to make that horse noise again, because that's what I said in commentary, and no matter how many times we see that move, it doesn't get any less scary, does it? There is O'Donovan with huge, huge damage. I've been to see the team in the lunch break, and it was all three corners that were broken. That was a lot of damage for that car. This is Johan Kristoffersson using all of his extensive experience to try and box O'Donovan in turn 2.
Yeah, did a good job of it, didn't he, there as well? And this is where you can see Patrick O'Donovan, of course, back into the garage after that second place finish, securing his spot in the semi-finals.
No such problems, though, for Andreas Bakkerud. There's barely a mark on that Ford Fiesta. He's kept it super clean.
Oh, that might be the
weekend.
delay. So, yeah, there's one of the local support classes here, and you can see the car's being recovered. So clearly it's come to a stop out on the track. Just looking from a commentary position to try and work out where that
Turn
is.
4, I think, mate.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yes, just out of view of where we are. So just down the hill. Let's have a look at the winners of the weekend so far here in RX5. Team Braumüller, the winner from Riga, kicked off proceedings quite well. It all went wrong for him, though, in Q2, because Martin Nyirád went on to take the victory. And we'll see how this one is going to work out for these drivers then, because Tim Braumüller somewhat on the back foot. He'll be lining up on row 2 in semi-final 2 in a couple of moments' time. Right then, we're ready to go racing for RX5 for semi-final 1 here in Hungary. Red lights are about to come on. On the pole position is Martin Nyirád on the right-hand side. Alongside on the front row is Valentin Comte. Row 2 is Armin Rog. Lights go green and we go racing. Good initial reaction from Comte. Nice one as well from Nyirád. Down towards the first corner. A bit of a squeeze there from the second row with Armin Rog. Can he get the move done and get the position? Yeah, he's managed to leapfrog ahead of Diego Martinez up into third.
Nyirád up front has lost the lead. Bodywork flapping on the side of the TN11. Is that going to hamper Nyirád? Look at it flapping in the background. That could affect the cooling, if nothing else, later on in the race. But Comte made the best of the starts round the outside, has the advantage at the moment.
Yeah, Comte with a good start then. Is anybody going to go Joker then on this opening lap? You can see the bodywork flapping around. Top 2, top 3 do not go into the Joker. Maybe somebody behind, Otto Horvath, perhaps. Actually, Fabio Martins is the driver that goes into the Joker. So Flavio then goes Joker on this opening lap. He wants to run in a bit of clear air at the start of this semi-final, but it's nose to tail at the front of this one, with Comte still leading at the end of the first lap from Nyirád. Then you've got Armin Rog and Diego Martinez Gonzalez.
Talking about running in free air, it's Comte who's just pulling out the temps in every sector in the opening tour, just able to use that lack of distraction at the front of the order. What's it going to be when they break the beam at the start of this one?
Big sideways moment for Ugar there into turn 4. Dust being kicked up as well. It's a particular feature of this Nyirád circuit. You can see again that bodywork flailing around for Ugar here as Comte looks to try and stretch the advantage. Into the Joker goes Rog from P3.
Comte's flying nearly half a second quicker in the opening split of this lap than Nose in chase.
Oh, where's this going to come out here for Armin Rog? He's going to be side by side for 4th place. Also Horvath there on his inside, and he manages to get the jump. That's pretty crucial for Armin Rog's strategy then at this point. Over the timing line he's about to come. He entered in P4, and now he's got crucially a bit of clear air in front of him at this mid-stage of the race. He can drive on rather than being stuck behind a driver and being out of position.
At the front of the order, Ugar's quicker than those around him in the middle sector, but he's losing out in the sectors 1 and 2. The middle sector's that super fast, high commitment part of the circuit down the hill.
Yep, looking then at Ugar as we come down in towards that far section. You can see how visceral these machines are and how much they're moving around, especially under braking going into there.
I love how much you see the inputs in these cross-car machines. You can actively see what the driver does and how that relates to the transition of the car in the corners, especially when they're wearing bright gloves. It's great when they're wearing white or yellow gloves, so you can see the hands on the wheels, you can see the suspension compress, you can see what the difference in steering angle makes. They're really visceral, as you say, and a great platform for these young drivers to learn their trade at this level in the FIA European Rallycross Championship.
Yeah, I'm loving this one. Diego Martinez there in P3 with the black and blue machine. 2-time European Junior Cross Car champion, just 17 years of age is the Spaniard, and sitting there in the podium place is the last automatic qualifier spot from the first of the semi-finals. Into the Joker goes Ugar then from P2. Martinez also following him in there as well. Now, crucially, where are they going to come out in relation to Armin Rog? Rog looks like he's going to split the two of them. He's got the inside line. He's got track position here on Martinez. He'll be behind Ugar then, but Martinez has got a great run off the exit of the Joker. Side by side, they're trying to go. Martinez just has to slow behind this contact as he jumps over the back of him, and he just about manages to keep it facing the right direction. This, of course, is the last spot to qualify for the finals here in RX5. Over the brow of the hill they go. 2 laps left to go, and it's Rog who's through at the moment.
Martinez Gonzalez's vision is full of that massive rear wing on the back of Armin Rog's machine. Martin Ugar, though, did what he needed to do there. Someone's got a huge misfire in the background. I think it's Martin's coming past us. He's either missing gears, Tom, or he's just got a misfiring engine. Comte into the Joker.
Yeah, Comte into the Joker. It's going to be tight here, actually, with Ugar then. Let's see what happens with Ugar, because he's been driving so well. I think he's going to get this one. On the exit of the corner we go. Comte with the inside line, and he just about manages to hold off the challenge of Martin Ugar. Through the final corner we go, and 1 more lap left here in RX5 semi-final 1. This is going to be a frantic end to this race. Ugar wants it. He's been TQ in RX5 so far, but he's sideways into turn 2. That's going to cost him drive on the run down the straight.
This is where it started to unfold for Ugar in the latter stages in Riga. He'll be desperately hoping he can at least, he's gone wide, run the rear wheels into the dirt, managed to hang on to it, but that's not the way to try and get past the race leader at the moment. He's going to have to settle for second unless something happens to Comte up front, and then readdress things ahead of the final.
Yeah, it's going to be a second row start then for Ugar unless he can do anything against Comte, but Comte has really held his own in this race. Through the last couple of corners we go. Comte's going to defend the inside. Ugar will look to the outside, but nothing doing for him. Out of the last turn we go, and across the line is Valentin Comte, the Frenchman, who wins semi-final 1 from Martin Ugar. Armin Rog got the better of Diego Martinez at the end of that race as well to secure his spot into the final. Otto Horvath, the Hungarian driver, comes home at P5, and Flavio Martins with a distant P6 at the checkered then. Confirmation of semi-final 1 for Euro RX5. Valentin Comte takes the win from Martin Ugar, and Armin Rog is the last driver to go through to the finals. Let's have a look at some replays then from that one. It was a good start from Comte. Ugar didn't get away too badly. They started knocking 7 bells out of each other behind with Martinez and Armin Rog there. Second place as that bodywork started to flail for this eventual second place finisher of Ugar. You can see Rog, though, getting his move done quite nicely. And this is where it all sort of worked out here for Rog against Martinez. Just emerged in front on the Joker, and for the Estonian driver, that was all he needed. Martinez launching over the back of him into that final turn. Thankfully managed to get out of the throttle and get out of harm's way, and that's the moment there that won Valentin Comte's race. Over to semi-final 2 then for RX5. Let's see how this one is going to go down. You've got Marco Muru on pole position, Adam Kárai, the Hungarian, alongside him on row 1. Timo Braumüller, the winner from Riga a few weeks ago, with Marin Liose alongside. And row 3 is Dominikos Kovacs and Paolo Martins then, the second of the Martins brothers. Lots of experience those two Frenchmen have had in the world of cross car, and let's see how this one will play out then. Fans loving it in the grandstand here this weekend. It has been brilliant in terms of the atmosphere. They were treated to some action as well. Just seeing Flavio Martin's car just being recovered as well. So clearly he's had a problem. He had a massive misfire as he was coming past us in the commentary box, and clearly made it to the end of the race, but didn't want to do any more damage to his machine. For those watching earlier, actually, it was a similar issue for René Munich, who they decided to stop the car rather than doing any more damage with a misfiring engine ahead of the quarterfinals. Yeah, so no more action for René Munich in RX1 then. And we'll see how it goes here for the second semi-final in RX5. Of course, another 6 laps worth of action ready to go. Just a reminder, Marco Muru on pole position, Adam Kárai alongside him on that front row, and then the winner from Riga is Tim Braumüller on the second row with the inside line and Marin Liose on the outside. Then Brad Marshall departs on the grid, points towards the lighting gantry. Revs are about to rise then as the ready to race board comes on. Semi-final 2 for RX5. Green light and go. Good start from the outside of the front row for Adam Kárai. Not so good though from Muru. He's got Braumüller as well as Liose trying to challenge for position into the first turn. We go side by side for second. Inside line there, and it looks like Adam Kárai has got the whole shot. He's managed to hold on to the race lead.
Braumüller lost out there in turn 2. Muru's been telling us, hasn't he, that he starts to the Achilles heel of that machine. Liose into P3 at the moment. Kovacs as well in this fight. This is going to be a tough job now for the round 1 winner to get ahead. Who will joker first? There's going to be some pretty close pace in this one. I think it's Braumüller on the left who's got in.
Yeah, Braumüller goes joker then on the opening lap. He wants to run in clear air then quite clearly as the top 4 continue on their normal lap. So Kárai is going to lead this one at the end of lap 1 from Muru, from Liose. Martins has managed to elevate himself up into 4th place following Braumüller's early joker. The question is for Braumüller, has he got clear air or is he going to be stuck behind Martins? No, he's got ahead of Martins now. He's up into P4 as we begin lap 2. So Kárai under pressure then from Marco Muru. Muru looking to try and find a way through, looking to try and force the issue. Problem is he can't joker at the moment because I don't think the gap is going to be quite there as it stands for now. But look at how close these two drivers are going through this left-hander onto the fastest part of the circuit. Kárai soaking up the pressure from the Estonian.
We talk about the gap back to those who have jokered. There was absolutely no gap there between Muru and the race lead, literally pushing each other through the corners. Oh, Muru's made a mistake, lost momentum mid-corner at the hairpin. That's cost a lot of time, and that is going to play massively into the hands of these two behind.
Yeah, Liose goes through ahead of Muru then, and he just gets over the back of him, launches at the final corner. It's getting scrappy then, it's getting dicey. He's looking for the move on the inside. Liose defends, goes to the outside then. Can he make the move stick? It's going to be so tight between these two drivers as they blast their way through that left-hander, but it's as you were then at the end of this, the start of this next lap.
That small mistake from Muru could cost them dear. As Braumüller looks to the inside in turn 4, there's no way through there because it's such a tight corner in 4 down the hill. Muru is closing again on the race leader, but is it going to be enough? Because he's lost a lot of time there, and these two, he needs these two to be fighting harder than this so that they lose a bit more time.
Absolutely, yeah, because he's going to lose out in the joker then. Look at that on the inside goes Braumüller, makes the move, stick on Martin Liose, up into 3rd place, up into the finals as it stands for now. 2 more laps to go then as we begin it here in the semi-finals. This is a fantastic battle, and Braumüller, the winner from the final in Riga in RX5 a few weeks ago, is now trying to secure his place and has secured his place as it stands in the finals.
I think Muru's actually going to get this done based on pace. Liose 6 seconds off the lead. Muru's 1.6 off the race leader as well. So we could see Muru slot in between these two cars at the joker merge.
Yeah, let's see how it works out then for Muru. That'll be the difference between the 2nd and the 3rd row of the grid. Into the joker then goes Muru. Where's Braumüller in relation? There he is, just in the background, trying to make his way through on the inside. But I don't think he's going to be close enough. Yeah, Muru's held him off. That's quite nice.
What a brilliant lap from Marco Muru. It was his push lap to get into the joker. Okay, he was helped a little bit by Braumüller and Lohéac fighting between each other, but a great job to execute when he needed to build that margin again, to get in and out of the Joker. Great job by his spotter as well to give him that information.
So just less than 2 laps now to go. Kárai is leading this one. He's got 3.8 seconds in front of him, so it should be enough to hold on to the lead against Muru. Muru will be given the hurry up from his spotter, though, to know that if he closes that gap down and can decrease it to probably around about a 3-second or so deficit, that it will be enough for him to challenge for the lead. Kárai goes Joker then at the sharp end of this one. Needs this to be absolutely inch perfect. Down into the bottom bend we go. There's Muru trying to come through on the inside. It's going to be so tight on the rejoin. There's contact between them. Kárai just about manages to hold on, but it's nose to tail with 1 lap to go here in semi-final 2 for RX5. Kárai leads, Muru in second, Braumüller in third place. This, of course, is going to decide the grid for the final along the way this afternoon, and it's anybody's guess as to how this one goes down.
You cannot get close to that of the Joker merge without having a massive accident. There was contact, the car skipped up in the air, but they've all got away with it. Marco Murray's had an absolutely wild ride in this one, as has Braumüller, who lost out in the first couple of corners, and there is nothing to choose between these 3 drivers.
You get the sense there's going to be a big send as we come down the bottom of this hill. Kárai is surely going to be wise to that. We'll look to try and defend the inside, but that could cost him. Braumüller there in the background looking to try and pounce. Nose to tail. Muru can't invent something on the inside. Braumüller has got a problem. He's slowing on the exit of that hairpin. Has he come to a stop? Has he just missed a gear? I think he has. It releases the top 2 as Kárai will win semi-final 2 in RX5 from Marco Muru. He takes the checkered flag. Braumüller does recover to finish in third place and secure his spot in the final, with Lohéac losing out to P4 ahead of Martins, and then Dominokos Kovacs will complete the finishers here. Still one more driver we're waiting to come across the line, and that will be Dominokos Kovacs. A fair old way down the order. Well, there we go. RX5 semi-finals done and dusted. We now have our grid decided for the finals. Well, a fantastic race then in RX5 semi-final 2, nose to tail between the top 3 almost until the checkered flag. Kárai, the Hungarian driver, gives the fans in Nyirád something to smile about, with Marco Muru in second place and Tim Braumüller getting it up into P3. Baron Lohéac, we say goodbye to him, as well as Paolo Martins and Dominokos Kovacs. And let's have a look at some replays of that brilliant second semi-final. Well, how's off down into the paddock? Delighted to be joined by Jurek Linnemann. Jurek, great to have you here, mate. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, you've had, well, a very interesting weekend so far, haven't you?
Yeah, I was really pleased to be up there in the mix with all the good drivers, but surely very disappointed to not reach the semis.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. It's one of those things, isn't it? In, you know, RX1 Rallycross, it's so tight. I mean, Q3 was unbelievable from you, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a nice, to reflect on this weekend, and now looking forward to Sweden. I have been lucky and unlucky in the quarterfinals so far. In Latvia, I was moving up to go straight to the semifinals, but it feels hard to get only 1 point from a great weekend here. But yeah,
that's Rallycross. Exactly, that is Rallycross, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's unbelievable to see you know, like you say, doing so well though, regardless, and you know, fighting. You've had so many years of experience in the world of Rallycross, and yeah, it's great to see you, you know, still fighting it up the sharp end of the field.
Yeah, I'm running a low budget, so it's hard to compete against these drivers, but I'm trying.
You are, and you're doing a great job. Right, the fans watching on then in the grandstands. RX3 action about to get underway for the semi-finals in the not too distant future. Just waiting for the cars to line up down there on the grid, and we will be ready to go for the first of the semis. Right, let's get ready to go then for semi-final 2. My name is semi-final 1, I beg your pardon, for RX3. My name's Tom Brooks. Alongside me, Jurek Linnemann here to guide you through this one. Here's your grid. Julien Mounier alongside Levente Kakor on the front row. Row 2 is Marcus Rosrud and Dylan Dufas. And then the third and final row of the grid is Aldris Kragas with Jeremy Lombe. On the outside, I mean, these Super 1600 cars here, they're tricky to get off the line at the best of times, aren't they?
Yeah, I have been running Super 1600 for 10 years almost, so I know very well to get these cars off the line, but this one will be exciting to watch.
Certainly will be. Right, red lights are on. Wait for the green lights. And we go. Good start then from Meunier. Nice one as well from Kárai. Look at Dufas trying to get through. Rosberg's going to get boxed in here. Kragas has also got good momentum, but has he got the opportunity to use it into turn one? A tap there for third place as Kárai gets a bit of a shove from behind from Kragas. But at the sharp end of it, it is going to be Meunier that will lead the way from pole position on the blast down in towards turn 4.
It was really nice off the line from Rosberg and making up to P2. So it will be interesting to see if he can match Meunier on the lap times.
Yeah, let's see whether he goes Joker then this time around. You see a bit of bodywork damage on Kárai. On the front of it then into the Joker goes Andreas Kragas, the Lithuanian. Let's see whether that works out for him in this opening stage of it. It releases Rosberg into a bit of clear air, also crucially allowing Julien Meunier, the winner from Riga a few weeks ago, and TQ here in Hungary, a clear track in front of him just to run in a nice bit of clear air. It's a rare opportunity to have that in rallycross.
It's impressive. Already Meunier have all over a second to Rosberg, so he is doing very well in the Audi.
Certainly is. And you see he's got that gap at the moment. Just needs to get the hammer down, drive some nice clean laps, does Julien Meunier at the moment. There is Jeremy Lombay backing his way into turn 4. Front wheel drive screamers these cars are. They don't really respond that well to going sideways, but Meunier with a full send. Anybody going Joker this time around? Nobody from the top 4 at the moment, and indeed the rest of the field just following the same strategy as it stands for now. Let's have a look at Meunier then. The gap up to 1.9 seconds between himself and Rosberg then here.
He will be hard to beat, even if he goes sideways.
Yeah, absolutely. Reminder, of course, the top 3 drivers are the ones that will progress through from this one into the finals from both of the semis. This is semi-final 1, semi-final 2 along the way in the not too distant future. Meunier again increasing that gap. Last time around a 45.593. Not the fastest we saw. Kárai, in fact, no, beg your pardon, it was the fastest we saw because Kárai was actually about a second or so slower than that. When you're leading a race like this here, you're in control at this point. How do you judge it and work at it strategy-wise with your spotter?
I would say Meunier is in control because he has a big margin now. So he is. I think he will drive 90% now to take the car to the finish. But surely Rosberg is trying to push to put in lap times and getting closer to Meunier. Yeah,
it's tricky here for second and third places. You've got Rosberg there with Kárai very close behind. Kárai, of course, is the last driver to qualify for the finals at the moment. But Dufas, you can see in the white and blue polo in the background, he's lurking away, and he's not getting any closer, but he's not crucially going away from this. So there could be a Joker strategy in here for Dufas to try and move his way up positions.
Yeah, for sure. And for him, it can be hard because someone behind him has Jokered already. So he needs to be sure that he can go out in front of them and he Joker.
Yeah, Rosberg goes into the Joker then. I wonder if that's going to work for him. It depends on where he's going to emerge in relation, because you've got Jeremy Lombay who hasn't Jokered. There he is in the red and black Audi. He needs to come out crucially ahead of him, otherwise he's going to be out of sequence. Gets a good pull off the Joker, has the inside line and does crucially manage to get that position there for Marcus Rosberg. That was really, really important.
Really important, and now he have to put in good lap times to be closer to the guys in front of him.
Yeah, you can see Dufas has been given the hurry up though. He's getting the crack on there, but he's wide out of turn 2. That's going to cost him.
Mistake from Dufas. I think that cost him the chance for the final.
Yeah, that's it. It's those fine margins. Just a few tenths of a second can be the difference. You can still see the bodywork there flapping away on Kárei's car as Meunier's gone Joker on the penultimate lap. He's just trying to play it safe. Top 2 also going Joker there as well because Kárai has gone in. Dufas, meanwhile, driving like he's left the gas on. You can see that he is locked up going in towards that hairpin bend. And where is this going to emerge here for the rest of them? Kárei's going to come out behind, so that's not worked out at all there for the Hungarian driver. He drops behind Rosberg, also drops behind Lombay, who is yet to Joker. He's the outline. Oh, Kárai has a big blow up. The engine's gone bang, and he's out of this race in spectacular style at the beginning of the final lap, to the heartbreak of the Hungarian fans here in Nyirád.
Now Dufas have Kárai in front of him. That's the only chance he have to put in lap times now and to make the Joker on the last lap. Yeah. Hopefully it can work out.
I wonder if it's just going to be a bit too late though, because what's the gap? About 2 seconds, isn't it? It's not quite enough.
It will be too close.
Yeah, Meunier though into the normal tour, into the Joker goes Dufas. Then where's he going to emerge in relation to Rosberg? There is Rosberg down the bottom of the hill. You've got Jeremy Lombay, who's also in the Joker. Kragas could spring a surprise in this one. Maybe looks to try and split Dufas, but he can't quite do it. And Dufas does get on to P3. Mounier. Checker flag is out. Mounier takes the win here with the yellow flag out across the line following that big blow-up from Kakor. But your top three that go through from semi-final 1 in RX3, Julien Mounier, Marcus Rosrud and Dylan Dufas. And a big amount of smoke. We can see it from our commentary position here as well. And, well, the marshals will be down there and trying to make sure that that car does not go up in flames.
That's oil on the exhaust. That's not a good combi.
No, generally recommended to try and avoid that one. Right, Mounier takes it in SF1 then in Euro RX3 from Marcus Rosrud and Dylan Dufas. We lose Aldrias Kragas, Jeremy Lombay, and of course Levente Kakor wouldn't have been going any further even if he'd made it because the engine has gone bang. Right, semi-final 2 is along the way in a couple of minutes. Let's go down and catch up with Hal, see what he's got going on in the paddock.
Johnny Topane, and this is crunch time, isn't it, in the pre-grid for the semi-finals of RX1. There's an interesting mix of tyre strategies going on. You told us earlier in the weekend that your tyres weren't in great shape, but they don't look too bad. How is it really?
Yeah, it's quite bad. The old ones are completely gone, so had to put some new ones now, and let's see how it goes.
What can you do from where you are on the grid? Front row, aren't you, together with Andreas Bakkerud? We know that you've got very even starts. What can you hope to do from the outside?
Yeah, there's not much to do if Andreas' reaction time is on time, so yeah, I think we have to stick to P2. Or, of course, we try if something happens to him, but let's see.
Thank you, Johnny. Good luck. Let's, I believe we've got a little bit of time, so let's take a wander. There's Andreas Bakkerud having a chat with his team. I've been around looking for some tyre information. These are brand new tyres on the front of Bakkerud's Ford Fiesta. Johan Kristoffersson is the master of tyre conservation. Johan is running brand new tyres on the front and slightly scrubbed on the rear. Let's have a quick chat with Johnny's teammate Juha Ruxon. Juha, you're looking pretty good tyre-wise. How has the weekend been for you? We haven't really spoken to you. How's the weekend been from your point of view?
Yes, I tried to save to my tyres the whole weekend, and now we can maybe play a little bit the tyres, and yeah, we find some way to the car and looks better.
Thank you, good luck.
Thank you.
Good to hear there from Juha Rukkinen and also from Hal Ridge down in the pre-grid area. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of talk about tyres. It's not quite as high grip this circuit, Jurik, as what we saw in Riga a few weeks ago.
No, but most of us have bad tyres from Riga to register here. So and we all of us want to put on the new tyres as late as possible. So we have been running on really used tyres all the qualifying heats.
Yeah, well, let's see how it goes then in Euro RX3 semi-final 2 then. So Ritis Gerklis on pole for this one with Samuel Kovacs alongside on that front row of the grid. Václav Tuma, P3. Thiago Ferreira, who had a great start actually in the fourth qualifier earlier on today. He's P4. Keep an eye out for him on the outside of that second row. Dominic Senegatnik and Libor Tejes alongside. Now, this is it's going to be an exciting one, this, because where was Tejes in terms of his qualifying position? Just trying to have a look at where he lined up, and I can't see it on my sheet at the moment, so we'll come back to that. There he is, yeah, down in 14th. He didn't have a particularly brilliant qualifying, but he's had good starts so far this weekend. Let's see whether he can prove to do the business here today in semi-final 2. Another 6-lapper ready to go, and of course it is going to be the top 3 drivers that will move forwards and into the finals here in Hungary.
It is interesting to see how they can do from the back row. Sometimes it can get better starts when you start outside the rubble.
Yeah, and often keeping a clean first corner can prove to be important, especially here in Nyirád as well. Right then, red lights are coming on. 6 laps for semi-final 2 of Euro RX3. Green light and go. Who gets the best start? Kovacs tries to move over as they sort of merge into one with Gerklis. And big contact there. Ferreira in to the side of Václav Tuma as they head down towards the first corner. Tuma's in the wall. He's out of the race before it's even begun. But that was a big aggressive chop over. And at the front of this one, it is Ritis Gerklis. That lead from Samuel Kovacs.
That was a hard hit to the wall. Hopefully nothing happens to the driver. And we will see who... I didn't see who was the driver who moved over to...
Yeah, it was Ferreira got in the start and he moved over and sort of it kind of all merged into one. There's a big squeeze going on behind. Right, Ritis Gerklis it is at least. There's Sab Kovacs in second place. Tuma's the driver that we know is out of this one, as we saw a few moments ago. There is Libor Tejes, who was as I said, on the outside of the back row of the grid. He's moved his way up into P3, sort of profiting as the seas would have parted in front of him. There's Ferreira, who I imagine the stewards will be having a look at that one. We'll wait and see if we can get a replay and work out exactly where it went down. Senegaknik across the line in P5. Right, Kürklis leads. 1.1 seconds the lead he's got then over Sam Kovacs here. Nobody went joker on the opening lap. Let's have a look at what happened then on the start. So there's a squeeze at the front. Ferreira got a nudge from Senegaknik. That sent him into Tuma and sent the Czech driver straight to the scene of the crash.
Looks pretty much like a race accident.
Yeah, that's unfortunate there. So hopefully no investigations for those drivers. The good news is for Václav Tuma, he's out of the car and okay, but his weekend unfortunately comes to an end. Right, end of lap 2 then. Kürklis leads, fastest man last time around. What was the time? 1:46.04. So that is the quickest time by about 0.4 of a second. He's trying to build out that gap to give himself a bit of margin here, Ulrich. I mean,
yeah, it seems that he has control, but I'm surprised that Tejas in P3 is not faster. He is in the same spec car as the leader. So, but let's see what he can do. If I was Tejas, I would go for the Joker soon to try to. Yeah.
There you go. Look at that. Right on cue. Right on cue. Tejas goes into the Joker then from P3. Where's he going to come out in relation to Ferreira? That's the important thing. Ferreira's already Jokered. There he is in the Fiesta. It's going to be tight here. He's going to give the outside line, use the momentum. Brilliant from Libor Tejas. Needed to do that. Absolutely critical for the Czech drivers' possibility of getting into the finals here.
Now it's every tenths count now, so you have to put in good lap times to get in front of Ferreira and Tuma.
Senegaknik's the man on the move in terms of lap times at the moment. You can see with the purple dot next to his name, he's the quickest man last time around. Lap 4 out of 6 we're on. Kürklis again just trying to stretch that advantage. Somewhat stabilised actually between himself and Sam Kovacs at the moment. Kovacs does not go Joker, but Senegaknik does from P3, so he was on a real push lap then before that Joker, trying to emerge in front of Tejas and Ferreira. It's going to be tight though. Tejas is down the bottom of the hill. There's Senegaknik coming through. Can he split the two drivers? He's got the momentum on the exit of the corner, side by side with Ferreira. Gives him a nudge, bit of contact on the inside, and he does manage to get in between both of those drivers. At the moment though, it's not enough for Senegaknik to go through and into the finals. He needs to get the better of Tejas in front.
Yeah, now it's all about the Joker strategy from Kovacs and Kürklis, but Kürklis is for sure too much in front to be in content.
Yeah, I think, look, Kürklis has got this one, I think, barring a mistake at the moment. Kovacs there, you can see as well, there's a bit of contact there as Senegaknik and Ferreira get a bit friendly. That's going to cost Senegaknik time. It allows the Ford Fiesta driver to go through. Right, Kovacs into the Joker then. He's going to come out quite comfortably in front of Tejas. Top two are safe as we expect it to be. That final spot though in the final, P3, is we're looking a little bit more safe now after Ferreira and Senegaknik started knocking 7 bells out of each other.
Yeah, there have been too much fighting in the back, so it looks like it's pretty sure for the first 3 now.
Yeah, you've got to be smart in these races. And look, you know, I get it. It's the temptation of being involved in a battle like that. It's great fun, but you know, unfortunately, when there's so much on the line like this, it can just cost you, and that's what it's done.
It's so easy to stand here beside and see what should have been done.
Yeah, exactly. When you're in the cockpit, I imagine it's a very different kettle of fish. Right, Kürklis, Jokers then on this final lap. He'll be safe. He's got a comfortable cushion there over Kovacs, barring any mistakes in the Joker, which he doesn't do. So British Kürklis then, great drive from the man who started this one on pole position. He's going to come through in that Audi S1, the Lithuanian driver, to take the win in semi-final 2 and secure his spot on the front row in the final as well. Kovacs alongside, and then Libor Tejas is the last of the drivers to qualify. Ferreira and Senegaknik do not go any further, unfortunately, and also Václav Tuma. That car, as you can see, stricken on the outside of the circuit following that contact on the opening lap and on the start of the race. Well, let's have a look then at the results from Euro RX3 semi-final 2. These are your last 3 drivers who will move forwards. Kürklis, Kovacs, and then Libor Tejas are your top 3. We say goodbye to Ferreira, to Senegaknik, and also to Václav Tuma here in Hungary.
It looks pretty much like a Sunday cruise for Kürklis in front, but he will get the competition in the final from Monia, that's pretty sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the dramatic start we saw in semi-final 2 for RX3. We've got a few moments to go until we've got more racing underway. Let's go down to Hal, who is in the paddock. What have you got for us, Hal?
Yep, down in the pre-grid, the semi-final one cars for RX1 are just going out. Andor Trepak, you've had an up and down weekend. Now it really counts. What can you do to make it through to the final?
Yeah, it looks like for Sunday we are going up on the hill, not down like yesterday. Finger crossed for the semi-final because this group is awesome and incredible hard and fast. So I think most of us or all of the 6 people in this group could be in the final also. So it will be tough.
Good luck. Thank you for talking to us. Just very quickly, Ola Christian Weber, we've just got a few seconds left. What can you do from further down on the grid than you'd like to be?
Well, let's see. We have had the issues the whole day with the engine, so I don't know if it's sorted yet. So we'll see what we can do from where we are. But yeah, it is what it is. And just try to be top 3 to come to the final, and then everything can happen.
Good tyres though. You've got new tyres on the front, slightly scrubbed tyres on the rear. So from that point of view, at least you're in a good position.
Yeah, I mean, we just have to try, you know, starting from the back row, and then yeah, we put two new tires on the front, so at least we can push a bit if everything is working as it should.
Thank you, OC. There's the tension down here is absolutely palpable, and yeah, a lot is about to happen.
Certainly is about to happen, Hal, and I cannot wait for action to begin then here. It's going to be an absolute thriller. RX1 semi-finals will be along the way in a couple of moments' time. Of course, you've got to have 6 drivers out of both of those semi-finals. They will progress forwards into the finals, and then we will see who is going to be fighting for victory here in Hungary as we get ready for action to continue. RX1 semi-finals about to get underway then here. This is going to be an exciting one. Here is how your grid will line up. Andreas Bakkerud will be on pole position, the man who's been in the top qualifying spot so far this weekend, with Joni Tolpanen alongside on that front row. 2-set promotion run cars with Kasper Jansen on row 2. Fabian Paillet alongside him in the Renault Megane, and then Johannes Rafos, who did a superlative job in the quarterfinals to get the better of his fellow drivers and get through into the semis here after a difficult weekend for the Norwegian. Palius Plaskovas will complete the 6-driver strong grid. Put me in the cockpit here, Jorik. What's it like when you're a driver, you're sat there with all this tension ready to go?
Yeah, it's trying to keep calm and be ready for the green light. I've been the master of reaction time. I've been fastest on reaction most of the heats, and yeah, that is try to keep your eyes on the lights and lift the throttles first.
Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Right then, Hal Ridge, welcome back to commentary. Good to have you here. How do you see this one going down?
Let me catch my breath, mate.
Sorry, I do apologies. I just forgot you've been running your way over. You've been keeping yourself fit this weekend.
Real mix of tyres, but amazingly, Paillet is on all new rubber compared to a mix in the other cars, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, certainly will. Right, Johannes Rafos then slots himself into the 3rd row of the grid. You're in Lindemann, of course. We'll say goodbye to you. Thank you so much for joining us, mate, and really well done this weekend. Good to have you here. You're in Lindemann, of course, joined us on commentary for RX3. Now ready to go for the semi-finals, the first of which for RX1 will be along the way, as you can see momentarily, with the 6 drivers lined up on the grid. Just a couple of last-minute checks going on. There is Andreas Bakkerud, visor down, sun very much out here this afternoon. It's very, very hot on the ground here in Nyirád. We had a shower yesterday afternoon, which cooled things down ever so slightly, but if anything, it seems warmer this afternoon than it has been at any point throughout this weekend. Right then, ready to go. Who will be the first 3 to secure their spots in the finals for round 2 here in Hungary? RX1 action for semi-final 1 about to begin. Good start from Turpinen, good start as well from Bakkerud. Look as well at Jansen trying to get the squeeze over there on Paillet. Rafos moves his way to the inside line. Can he make anything stick through there? No, not quite. Paillet's out wide as we come through into turn 2. So Bakkerud leads from Turpinen, then side by side for 4th place there as well, with Jansen trying to challenge against Fabian Paillet to the inside line, and it just about manages to keep it out the wall. Contact into turn 4. On the inside goes Jansen, gives a tap to Paillet and loses out ultimately in terms of the battle for places.
Paillet was cautious around the first couple of corners on the outside, wasn't he, with those 4 brand new Hoosier tyres on the car, as that man who's just gone into the Joker, Johannes Rafos, was side by side. I really thought he'd lose out more up the hill, because Rafos is on super worn tyres relative to some of those in this field. Brand new fronts for Andreas Bakkerud and slightly scrubbed rears, it looked like to me, in the pre-grid. Tolpanen, as he said in that interview, Tom, is on really used tyres and that could cost him dear.
Yeah, Topainen there, coming under pressure now from Kasper Janssen as well. Janssen having a really good run actually of things here in the semi-finals. It hasn't been the weekend for the Swede that we were expecting after strong pace in Riga a few weeks ago. He was 8th eventually when all was said and done in the final classification. He's now trying to challenge for this final spot in the finals as well. Right, down in towards the bottom bend we go. Bakkerud it is that still leads. Quickest man last time around. Into the Joker goes Paulius Blaskovas. That's going to release Rafos into a bit of clear air here. Can he take that to his advantage?
Janssen is coming good when he needs it most. Rafos nearly collects the wall on the inside. That's where we saw Patrick Donovan go in earlier on at the Joker merge. Janssen, though, is piling on the pressure to round one podium finisher, Joni Topainen.
Yeah, Topainen there, just soaking it up from Kasper Janssen as it stands for now. Bakkerud's trying to clear off. He's built out a 1.2-second buffer. Quickest man last time around he was also by a few tenths of a second. Janssen, I wonder if he might go Joker, if he's got the gap behind Topainen now then as well. I don't think he has at the moment. Spotter will be on the radio telling him that then. And if he Jokers now, the problem is he could get caught behind Paye, and so he plays it safe. Paye also, crucially, doesn't Joker there in the background as well. So it just, again, compromises that strategy call here for Kasper Janssen as it stands at the moment. He is still stuck behind Joni Topainen as they come through the final corner and begin the fourth lap.
Of course, Kasper Janssen has 14-time European Rallycross champion, multiple world champion in both teams and drivers. Kevin Hansen on the radio as well as his father this weekend, so he'll be getting a good bit of advice, and these three are really gapping Fabien Paye. The new tyres just not working out for him on the Megane in a much, much better weekend for the French crew. Topainen now managing to just gap Janssen a little bit, relieve some of the pressure, just allow him to hit his marks a bit better. Bakkerud as well, I think, is just in that management situation at the front of the race. You don't want to just overdrive at this stage, knows that he's going to need to save his best for later on. Bit of smoke off the back of Topainen's car. Was that tyre smoke on that new bit of tarmac as his rubber starts to wear even more?
Yeah, it's a management game here in this first semi-final then, isn't it? Top three line astern at the moment. Penultimate lap we're on, so maybe one of them will go Joker this time around. Paye still waiting for that final opportunity, but I think Janssen might just about have enough of a gap now if he wanted to go and Joker and come out ahead of Fabien Paye. Let's wait and see what happens. They come through the fastest parts of the circuit, blasting it down in towards this left-hander. Does Janssen go? No, he's waiting. He's waiting for that last opportunity. Paye in the background does, so that's okay for the top three. There's a big send into the Joker for the Frenchman. Where's he going to come out in relation to Johannes Rafos? It's going to be quite tight between them. I think Paye's going to get this one, and he does. Yeah, gets the overcut nicely. It's worked out well for Paye, having run in clear air for such a long time in this race. But we're on the final lap. It's Bakkerud that leads from Topainen and from Kasper Janssen there. 1, 2, 3 in your picture at the moment, but nothing doing in terms of challenging for these places.
I think Janssen had more potential in this one, but he'll also be delighted to be through to the final, given the obstacles he's had so far this season, both in round one and earlier this weekend, getting stuck in the traffic. A misfire for Paulius Blaskovas in the background as the leading trio take the alternative extra route on this final tour.
Yeah, they're going to come out comfortably in front of Fabien Paye. Then there is Paye just making his way down into the hairpin. So first, second and third exiting out of it now. A brilliantly executed strategy from all involved. And it is going to be Andreas Bakkerud who will win semi-final 1 in RX1 along with Joni Topainen and then Kasper Janssen. Those are your top three that move forwards firstly into the finals. Fabien Paye, Johannes Rafos and Paulius Blaskovas will go no further here this afternoon. Well, a great drive from Andreas Bakkerud. Exactly what he needed to do, continuing that momentum that we've seen from the Norwegian driver so far this weekend. TQ throughout the 4 qualifying sessions, 1 quarter-final 1, and he continues his clean sweep of things at the sharp end of this field. You can see there he'll be joined by Joni Topainen as well as Kasper Janssen. So 2 Ford Fiestas and 1 Peugeot 208 in the finals as it stands for now. Fabien Paye, I think he'll be pretty pleased with how things have worked out this weekend. All things considered, he was in the doldrums in Riga after the engine went bang, and he's had to have it rebuilt over the last week or so.
I think if you'd have told him on Sunday night in Riga that you'll just miss out on a place in the final at Nyirád, having never been here before, never driven this car in these situations, never driven in the wet, he'll, yeah, I think he would have taken that. And of course, right now he'll be disappointed, but that's the cut and thrust of Rallycross, isn't it? Bakkerud got out front and was nice and clean. Janssen had a little look to the inside of Topainen, but couldn't make it work. Rafos had this wild old ride, Kristoffersson style, at turn 4, a little bit of contact with Paye. I wonder if that caused some damage to the rear of the Megane and just cost him a little bit later on. But ultimately, the top 3 went untroubled throughout this race.
Right, Euro RX semi-final 2 then. We're about to go green flag racing for this one. We've just seen Bakkerud, Torpainen and Hansen progressing forwards. Who will get the go-ahead through semi-final 2 then? Johan Kristoffersson, Juha Rukkanen is your front row. Row 2, Patrick O'Donovan after the smash in the final of the quarterfinals earlier on this morning. He managed to get into the quarterfinals and then progress through into the semis with a P2 finish. Andor Trepak lines up alongside him on that second row of the grid. And OC Baby for KMS with Damian Litvinovic is your grid for this one. Litvinovic bowing out of Euro RX after this weekend due to budgetary issues. He'd love to go out on a high. He's here in semi-final 2. And the outside of that back row of the grid, we have seen a few drivers making some good starts, especially in RX3 about 10 minutes or so ago with Libor Tejes. Let's see whether Litvinovic there in the black and red Audi S1 can get a good launch away from the lights. Marshall clears from the grid, points towards the lighting gantry. Kristoffersson on the pole with Rukkanen alongside. Red lights coming on. Keep an eye out for O'Donovan and Trepak on row 2 as well. Green light and go. Rukkanen gets away well. Kristoffersson's going to bog down, I reckon, on the inside there, but he's got the inside line. He's got track position. O'Donovan and Trepak side by side in the background as well. Trepak goes sideways, gets a bit of a tap. Kristoffersson through into the lead against Rukkanen. Rukkanen there with O'Donovan on the inside. O'Donovan's got the inside line still as they come down the back straight. He's going to have to duck back in behind the Finnish driver, and Kristoffersson it is that holds the lead from Rukkanen and then O'Donovan in P3.
Patrick O'Donovan's been the master of getting up the inside of the driver in second so far this year and last year at this circuit, which couldn't quite make it work on this occasion. Kristoffersson so wily in the first couple of corners.
Baby, super sideways house or into the Joker there with Litvinovic behind there as well. He just about managed to gather it up, but that was a proper send into there.
All those years of rally experience for OC Baby coming good. Tom, I didn't really hear what OC was saying to me in preview, but he mentioned an engine problem, didn't he, and lack of pace. He wasn't sure what was going to happen, but now the front three need to be watching Baby's pace because he has good lap time pace and can be closing this gap now.
Yeah, and that's the thing for OC Baby, especially for KMS as well. They'd love both their cars to make it through into the finals. Maybe they can use that to their advantage in terms of strategy as well. Kristoffersson it is that's clearing off in front. Second or so, the advantage he now has over Rukkanen. On board we are then here with Trepak. O'Donovan goes into the Joker.
This is to try and cover off OC Baby. Trepak sideways on the standard lap. Here comes the Volkswagen Bolo on the main route. But O'Donovan's coming round the outside. They made contact. O'Donovan spins again in the same place. Hit by OC Baby.
Oh, such a shame that Patrick O'Donovan gets
broken rear suspension.
Yeah, oh, that's a big, big disappointment for Patrick O'Donovan after getting that car repaired following his smash in the fourth of the qualifiers earlier on today. To get it out into the quarters and qualify for the semis was a mega job. But look at this, just re-emerged on the Joker, has a really good run again, but Baby's already sideways. He's on his own trajectory. 2 into 1 just doesn't go.
That's so tricky, isn't it? You've got to give the margin on the inside, but at the same time, as we heard in driver's briefing, you can't run wider than you would do normally from the inside. So I'm thankfully not a steward as Rukkanen's into the Joker lap. He's going to come out.
It's going to be tight with Baby. It's going to be tight. Yeah, he just does it, doesn't he?
Job done. This could be a salvage shot for Baby, who could well move through to the final, pending any investigation for that move.
Exactly. Trepak's not too far away, is he, in front of these three? Just a reminder, top
he's yet to Joker.
Exactly. That's the thing, isn't he? He's yet to Joker, and you can see Rukkanen there all over the gearbox of that Renault Megane. So barring any mistakes then, for OC Baby, he should, in theory, move up the order into P3. You can see nose to tail then, Trepak in your forefront of your picture. It's not been a particularly brilliant weekend so far for the young Hungarian driver. We now ride on board. You can see him barely blinking there. So much concentration and focus as he soaks up the pressure. Joker for Kristoffersson. He's going to come round and emerge comfortably into the race lead as they're getting very tight indeed from behind. So I think Baby's going to do this one here, Hal. I think he's going to, come out quite comfortably in front of Trepak once Trepak makes his Joker. Over the line we go into the first corner. Kristoffersson has now jokered. 2 seconds was the gap over the line. Trepak there still yet to joker, just to remind you, everybody else has done so. And Baby has really got the hammer down. Fastest man out on track. He knows how much pressure's on his shoulders. He knows he needs to get into the finals to get in with a shot of doing a good job for KMS here this weekend.
It's tucked up behind Trepak at the moment, the pair of them, but they'll know they're going to clear Trepak when he takes his joke. He's going again, is Anders Trepak. Kristoffersson has backed off at the front of this, hasn't he? You can see that clearly. Kristoffersson running new tyres on the front axle of his Volkswagen Polo, scrubbed rears. I was having a look at the tyres on every car in the pre-grid, and Johan came over and said, I just scrubbed those in warm-up. So he knew exactly what the score was. He's in a great position tyre-wise, and clearly the sector times have dropped off by just a couple of attempts, managing that situation. Trepak, this is his almost lap of honour at home, isn't it? Because when he takes the Joker, he's going to drop behind Ruktunen and Baby. Nothing on the timing screen so far, so maybe the Baby O'Donovan thing is going to be considered a racing incident, and we're not going to have any alterations to the result.
Yeah, Trepak might lose out to Litvinovic here as well. Into the Joker he goes last time around. Big send in front of his home crowd. Then here, as you say, this is his lap of honour. Meanwhile, Ruktunen still soaking up the pressure from OC Baby. Where, though, is Trepak going to emerge? It is behind Litvinovic then as they come through to the final corner. Johan Kristoffersson wins semi-final 2 ahead of Juha Ruktunen. OC Baby salvages third place after a disappointing weekend for him so far, battling those technical problems in the Volkswagen KMS Polo, and he does come over the line. There is Kristoffersson, a wry smile on his face as well. Not off. Trepak there as well.
Trepak waving to the fans. Litvinovic as well. We've referenced that this could be his last event for a little while, just waving to the fans atop of the caravan in the spectator area. The Trepak crew there. Not the weekend that Andor's Trepak wanted. Disappointed the young Hungarian, but he should be proud of racing at this level at home.
Yeah, the fans have loved that one, standing on the top of the caravans here, and the Hungarian fans have certainly been treated to some good racing action, not only here in RX1 but also the other classes as well. So Kristoffersson, Ruktunen and Baby are your top 3 that go through from the second semi-final. They'll line up on the grid in the finals a bit later on here this afternoon. Highlights then from the second semi-final. It wasn't a bad start actually for Kristoffersson. He got his elbows out against Ruktunen, and eventually that was what managed to get him the advantage. On board we ride then here with OC Baby down to, sorry, that's Andor Trepak, isn't it? I beg your pardon. And
Litvinovic,
yeah, it's Litvinovic, you're right.
Kristoffersson's so good at holding his line, isn't he, Tom, in the first couple of corners. O'Donovan went for had inside of Ruktunen. I think Ruktunen's just got better tyres and was able to pull that advantage up the hill. O'Donovan sensible in not trying to go around the outside. This is the merge.
That's
tricky, isn't it?
It is, because the thing is, look, Baby, obviously, he's got the momentum, he's got the inertia going through that corner. He's already committed to his line. He's not, you know, I know he's going to know it's tight because the spotter will be on the blower saying, look, you know, O'Donovan's going to be there. But it's 16 1/2 a dozen of the other for my money, to be honest with you. It's such a shame there for Patrick O'Donovan regardless, because he's been driving so well, and after that salvage job in the quarterfinals, he's going to be disappointed with how his weekend has come to an end.
Yeah, and that's so often we've seen that in rallycross. It's full of highs and lows, and yeah, that's what makes the highs so good. I've always said from my own experience, it's 90% heartbreak and 10% elation, but that 10% is just so incredible. That's why people keep coming back. No better example of that than this man, Andreas Bakkerud, who clearly delighted with how this has gone. Will start on pole position for the all-important final later on next to his arch rival Johan Kristoffersson. Super
impressive from Andreas Bakkerud. He is having an absolutely stellar weekend. Of course, in the championship, it is Johan Kristoffersson that has the lead at the moment. Let's have another look at O'Donovan versus Baby then. So Baby there, as we say, is already committed to his line. O'Donovan with a heck of a drive out of the Joker there. 2 into 1, just again doesn't go. Ultimately into the barrier goes Patrick O'Donovan, and the upshot is he's out of the race with that rear suspension damage, not for the first time here this weekend as well. Euro RX semi-finals all done and dusted. We say goodbye to this man here for the racing action this weekend, Fabien Payet. Fabien, great to have you here, mate. I mean, look, let's be honest. If somebody had told you you'd have made it through to the semi-finals after Riga, I think you'd probably bitten their hand off, wouldn't you?
Yeah, sure. That was our goal from the beginning, to be in the semi, but with the pace that we had, I think we could have been in the final. But yeah, you know, the semi-final, it doesn't always go according to plan. So, but yeah, still I'm happy of the performance that we had this weekend. It all was so new to us, the track, the car and everything. We started from zero, so I think the pace, we were like sometimes 1 or 2 or 3 tenths off compared to Kristoffersson or Bakkerud. So, yeah, I think it's a good sign for the future.
It is. What do you think it was that stopped you going through into the final? Was it just pace in that semi for you?
Yeah, I don't know. I got a big hit from the inside at turn 4. I think I was closing the door a bit, and the guy that was on the left didn't want to leave space, which I understand. I would have done the same. But then I got a big hit, and it felt in my neck, and the helmet moved. And then the car, I had not the feeling anymore with the car. Something must have been bent on the steering or something like this. But yeah, it's a bit disappointing. But we know in the semi-final, on the second line, coming on the outside, it could have been worse than that.
Yeah, let's have a look at some highlights then from your semi-final then here. So you started on the outside of that second row. You're side-by-side here with Kasper. Bakkerud and Torpainen there going for the lead in the front of it. And then you sort of ended up on that sort of looser stuff on the outside of T1.
Yeah, it's very slippery there. I didn't expect it to be so slippery. Actually, I had a moment there during the semi-final also. And here I just couldn't catch any grip. And then it leaves space for Ralphos, I think, to get in the inside. And then I wanted, I want to be at least fourth, so I tried to keep the place. But yeah, then we were side by side during turn 4, and then turn 5 I tried to close the door.
Did you see him at the corner of your eye?
I didn't see that. I didn't, so he went wide. And then I get the big hit here now.
Yeah, that's it.
So that was not expected. I think something from there on I had a strange feeling with the car, so I think we need to check the suspension.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was a fairly substantial impact going in.
Definitely. I still feel it in my neck, so...
Yeah. Well, you did well regardless, and like I say, it's great to see them again, sort of fighting up the sharper end of Euro RX as well. It's a unique car. That we were looking at it the other day. You know, you got inboard brakes on the back. It's almost like Renault sort of like Pro Drive really looked at the rule book and said, "Oh, hang on, there's a loophole here. There's a loophole here. We'll try that."
Yeah. I mean, when you first got the car, there was the dashboard that was like the dashboard that was on the tunnel of the transmission, and we asked, but okay, we cannot see it. Why did you put it there? Oh, it's for the mass. Okay, so they are at this level, you know, of optimization of the weight and of the. So yeah, it's a very interesting car. I think it really has a lot of potential. During all the weekend, I felt like, okay, here I can brake later. Here I have actually more grip than what I use. So yeah, so it's just about getting to learn the car and find where is the limit.
Right, well, we've got more action to come here in Hungary in the not-too-distant future. We've sent Hal off down in the paddock as well. I think he's catching up with the man who won that semi-final, of course, TQ, and he's on top so far this weekend, Andreas Bakkerud.
From Fabien Payet, who's had a strong weekend, to Andreas Bakkerud, who's had an even stronger weekend. Andreas, it's gone so well so far. I know you've been in this position many times before, but just the final to go, lining up on pole position, you must be delighted with how this weekend has gone up until this point at least.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a dream scenario, you know. If I've dreamt of if I take the start and pacing with Johan there in the final, 5 brutal laps, he probably joker lap 5 and then all in for that last lap and joker. And then see what happens, you know, roll the dice, or, you know, anything can happen in rallycross, but the dream scenario would be to beat him here today. But it looks like they've dialed their starts now, so they have the best zero time now, so it's going to be a tough one.
We've referenced in commentary that your car looks so clean. You've really kept out of trouble this weekend while having good pace. I know that can all go out the window in a Euro RX1 final, but that's so key to building these weekends, isn't it, as you well know?
It is, and the format is very different now compared to when I used to race here. So the heat qualifying is kind of a marathon stage into the quarterfinal. And then in the quarter and in the semi, I've had great guys next to me, so I stayed away from trouble. But then I think in the final, we're going to hit the fan.
Thank you, Andreas. Good luck.
Andreas Bakkerud there, TQ, and the man, of course, who is leading the standings so far at this point this weekend. He'd love to be leading the championship standings post-Hungary here as well. But let's have a look at the man who, as you can see, has taken 3 wins out of those races we've had so far throughout here in Hungary. Kristoffersson has kept him honest as best he can. Couple of wins there, one in the quarterfinals and one also in Q2 here yesterday. Further down the order there, Bakkerud as well with another victory, of course, in semi-final 1, and Kristoffersson making it 3 wins as well in semi-final 2. Those two will be lining up alongside each other on the front row of the grid, which I'm sure will be fireworks come the final later on this afternoon. Let's just run you through the grid for that final as well. As I say, that'll be along the way after we got through RX 5, 4, 3 as well. And look, here's your grid then for the final. Fabien, what do you reckon to this one? You've got Bakkerud, Kristoffersson on the front row. Are you expecting fireworks into one? Oh, hang on a sec. I'll turn your mic on. There we go.
Yeah, now it works. Yeah, definitely. I think in the semi and in the quarter, I think everyone wants to remain quite, let's say, quite calm. They want to get the car to the final. So, but I think now it's going to be all in, definitely. And honestly, the starts that Set Promotion are doing, I think it gives really a big advantage to Andreas for the final.
Right, well, support action ongoing here at Hungary as we get ready for more action to begin. Let's go down and catch up, though, with Kasper Jansen. He'll be lining up in that final. He finished, where was he? P3 in semi-final 1. Really good job from the young Swede. Let's get his thoughts.
Kasper Jansen, what a difference a day makes. You were struggling yesterday, stuck in the traffic, not amazing starts. P3 in the semi, you're through to the final. You must be really pleased with that performance.
Yeah, of course. This day we have showed the pace we had all the day yesterday also, but we had traffic yesterday, so it's nice to finally it's paid off. So yeah, it's absolutely awesome to be in the final also with these guys. So yeah, it will be fun.
Plenty of action at this track, especially in the first couple of corners that we've seen all weekend. It can still go very well from here. Do you have a strategy?
No, not really. I think we will start from P5, so it will probably be something in the first 2 corners in front. So just to be with a head up and just focus on that.
Thank you, Kasper. Good luck.
Yeah, just a case of focusing on it then and getting some good experience out there for Kasper Jansen for getting into the final. A great way to get even more track time here in Hungary. And who knows, anything can happen in Rallycross. Maybe there's a strong result on offer for the 20-year-old Swede. Now, Fabian, we're going back to Lohéac this year. I can't wait for a bit of that. I bet you can't either.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be the highest moment of our season because we are like 200 kilometers from our place. So yeah, all the sponsors, all the friends, the family will be there, and we know the track pretty good. So yeah, it will be a nice moment. Yeah.
Why do the French love Rallycross so much? I mean, there's a huge following for that on a national level, isn't there? Especially.
Yeah, I think there is a part of history because Lohéac has been there for so long. So a lot of people here know Lohéac, and it has gone through the generations. There is a lot of grown-up now that tells me I was coming when I was a child, and it's the same for me, you know, when I am almost born in the paddock there. So I think it goes through the generation, and that's good for the sport.
Good stuff. Fabian, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to let you go because I imagine you are sweating buckets in that race too, right about now. Fabian Faye, great job from him this weekend here in Hungary. Let's get down to Hal once again in the paddock and see who he's catching up with.
Johnny Tapainen, you've made it into the final. I know you were nervous about your tyres. We talked to you before the semi. Great job just managing that race. What can you do now that you're in the final stages?
I think we have to follow the same strategy that we have to follow Bakkerud, but let's see. It will be a tough final for sure. Johan will be mad from the second place. I think he will be fast.
Anything can happen in the first couple of corners. I guess from your position on the grid, it's just about trying to assess where the gaps are going to be and try and get your nose in there?
Yeah, just trying to survive the first corners and then send it.
Thank you, Johnny. I'm just going to spin around quickly here and grab a word of your teammate, Juha Räikkönen. Juha, this weekend's been really solid for you. You were disappointed with the result in Riga. What's your strategy now?
I think if we can drive the 2 first corners clean and everything goes well, I think then we can fighting on the track and find some better pace now. And I hope that everything goes well the 2 first corners.
Thank you, Juha. Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's go then for RX5, the final for round 2 here in Hungary. And let's see how this one is going to work out then with Valentin Conte on pole position, Adam Kelogere, the Hungarian driver on home soil in Nyirád on the front row. Martin Ugar and Marko Muru, the 2 Estonians, occupy the second row of the grid. Armin Rog and the winner from last time out in Riga, Tim Braumüller, on the outside of the back row of the grid. It's not been a particularly happy hunting ground so far this weekend for the young German driver. Could there be an opportunity to bag himself a podium here this afternoon? We'll await to find out. The fans have been loving this one here in the grandstands. They've been sheltering themselves from the sunshine for the most part as well. You can see the hats and the brollies up there in the background. There's quite a few tents that are lying around the circuit. They were all various sorts of different colours over the course of the start of the weekend. And now here on Sunday afternoon, they've all turned a shade of red owing to the dust here at this very unique Nyirád circuit. Here's your grid then all lined up in RX5. And keen to see how this one is going to go down. There's Marco Muru, Armin Rog as well, right towards the very back of your field. Needs to do a strong job here, does Armin Rog. See how he is going to get on. In terms of the championship standing, it's Brownmiller that is in the lead. Armin Rog is P2 in the standing, so a good opportunity for him to try and get one over on Brownmiller and take over at the top. But Martin Nyirád, who also lines up alongside him on that second row of the grid, could prove to spring a surprise as well, depending on what sort of start he gets. As you can see, just a quick wiggle of the goggles there, getting himself focused and ready to go. Of course, they're closed cockpit machines, but as you can see, there's a lot of mesh on the front, so it doesn't actually keep the dust out in any way, shape or form. Here's your calendar for Euro RX 2026. We started off in Riga a few weeks ago. We're here in Hungary this weekend. We're off to Höljes at the start of July, then Ireland, France, and a doubleheader in Portugal to conclude the season. But that's not all of the Rallycross action. At the start of December, we head over to Jakarta in Indonesia for the Rallycross World Cup. Some big names being rumoured for that one. I'm really excited to see how this one is going to go down because, as I said, there are some drivers there that I'm sure will be springing a few surprises, and of course a few that have got a bit more recent experience in the world of Rallycross. And Jakarta, I mean, they love their motorsport, don't they? So that's going to be a big one. Hey, up, there we go.
Certainly is. Multitasking. Yeah, it's going to be amazing, isn't it, to have a standalone event like that where everything's up for grabs. And, you know, this weekend's all about conserving tyres, trying to score lots of points. There, it's all in to try and win the event, and that'll be great.
It is. Yeah, I'm going to let you get your breath back there, Hal, because, I mean, look, you've been running around like a blue bottle.
It's not the weather for it, nor the physique, to be honest. So, yeah.
We'll get hair and makeup on it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But, yeah, look, I'm looking forward to RX5 in particular. It's interesting, isn't it, because you've seen Tim Brownlow actually struggling quite a bit this weekend. I mean, Q2 was his downfall yesterday when he got fired off, and since then it's been a salvage job.
Yeah, and it's so competitive, isn't it? So that a little issue like that, I say a little issue, but a time loss like that means that you really end up on the back foot, don't you? And because it's so competitive that you can't get it back. It's not like being the class of the field in another discipline where you can easily gain back that lost time. Here's some lovely shots of the RX5 machines in action so far this weekend.
What I'm loving is seeing how these cars move around. Obviously, you can see the wheels are on they're open wheelers, effectively, these machines, and you see the suspension moving around, you see the wheels, you see how visceral and raw these experiences are. I've had the opportunity to drive one of these cross cars, and I'll be honest, 5 laps in, and I was absolutely shattered because you're working so hard behind the wheel. Sequential gearboxes also, and so on as well. They weigh absolutely nothing, but you have to drive them in a very different way, in the sense you have to get the weight over the front. Here's the grid then for the Euro RX final. Valentin Comte on pole position with Adam Kárai alongside on the front row. It's an Estonian affair on row 2 with Martin Nyirád ahead of Marco Muru. And then the third and final row is also another Estonian, Armin Rog, with Tim Brownmiller, the winner from Riga, alongside. 6 laps for this one to decide the winner of RX5 here in Hungary. And how is this one going to go down? Well, we're about to find out. Adam Kárai knows how to spring a few surprises here in the RX5 Championship, and well, let's see whether he can do the business here now as well. He just won semi-final 2 a couple of minutes ago, so there's a golden opportunity that could be in his hands. Depends, though, on how well he gets away from the lights. Keep an eye out for Nyirád there in the green and yellow machine on the second row of the grid. Red lights are on then, Euro RX5 final. Green light and go. Who gets the best launch? Comte gets away okay. Geller gets the better start, though, as they head down in towards turn 1. He's got the overshot, gets a bit of a tap, though, in the back as they head over the crest of the hill and through turn 1 for the first time. Kárai does hold on to the race lead. It's Comte down to second, and then third place is Martin Nyirád from the second row.
Perfect start for Kárai. That's exactly what he needed to do. Running out front, they're parked just next to us in our commentary position. They're running out of the tent to watch these races in between their sessions, and now he's exactly where he wants to be, at home in this European Rallycross Championship final at Nyirád.
Euro goes Joker, Yuka goes Joker then on this opening lap. He's decided to go and try and run into some clear air there. Muru also doing exactly the same thing as well. That could prove to be beneficial for Nyirád then, because nobody else behind really did, and anybody else that's sort of on the same pace isn't really going to be a concern for him at the moment. End of lap 1, Kárai it is that leads, Comte in second, Rog now up into third ahead of Brownmiller. Nyirád and Muru are the 2 drivers who have jokered at this point. They're trying to do something different, trying to get the undercut once all the joker strategies have worked out.
And we know those 2 Estonians have great pace. Martin Nyirád, top qualifier, he dominated the qualifying stages as well. In Riga, lost out in the semis as he lost out in the opening round, and he'll desperately want to close this gap to at least get on the podium, but ultimately he wants to make amends for that opening round defeat and try and get onto the top step of the podium.
Yeah, into the Joker then goes Kárai. Also Braumüller likewise following through as well. Now this could be interesting here. Are we going to get a bit of a split in terms of position? So Kárai is going to come out in P3. Braumüller behind Ugar then. So that Joker for Ugar working out quite nicely. He's in front of Braumüller as it stands now. Just the top two left to go here at the halfway stage.
That could be the strategy that wins the home hero, Kárai.
Oh, to the wall! That's a big smash for one of the Estonians.
Braumüller, isn't it?
It's Braumüller. It is against the German. It is Tim Braumüller who's into the wall, and he's hit the barrier in a big way. So the winner from Riga will not be taking the checkered flag this time around.
He's climbing out of the car from the back of our commentary position. That's also going to bring out a yellow flag at that point in the track, which will remove an overtaking opportunity. There he is running to safety. That was a big impact in his RX5 machine. Nobody jokers this time around. Only Comte and Rog still to go, but Kárai is in the window now, 2.6 seconds behind when they crossed the last timing beam. That is now 2.9. Okay, Comte's pulling ahead. Let's have a look at replay, Tom.
Yeah, so into the left-hander there for Braumüller. He's just a little bit wide, a little bit offline, too much speed, too much commitment, straight into the wall. It's a big hit there as well. You can see it rips off the right and front and rear suspension there as well. And oh, it's just such a big crash, a lot of energy going through that. Main thing is he's out of the car and he's okay. Right, back at the front then here. So Valentin Comte leads, Rog in second place, but Kárai, as you say, is driving superbly well at the moment. I think he's trying to force the issue here, and he's trying to force Comte and Rog to go for this Joker at the last possible opportunity, but the gap's just not there for them.
Comte's just eking ahead though at the moment, up to 3.1 seconds. It's about a tenth every sector for the last lap and a half. Rog's sort of in no man's land really, and could be in danger of getting passed by Ugar as well when he goes into the Joker. But this is all about Comte and Kárai to see who can take the lead. The gap's gone up again, 3.3 now from Comte back to Kárai. This is a great performance from Comte at the front.
Yeah, the Joker time is 3.3. It's going to be super tight between Comte and Kárai then. I wondered if he might have the opportunity to do it, and it is absolutely marginal then here on this penultimate lap. Comte will be given the hurry up on his spotter. Rog goes into the Joker from P2. Don't worry about him, he's not really in contention for this victory. Where's he going to come out though in relation to Ugar? I think he's going to be behind him into, what's that, 5th place, isn't it? So yeah, drops down then does Rog into P4 actually, as a matter of fact. Right, 1 lap to go then here in the Euro RX5 final. It's Comte that leads, but he still owes that Joker, and it's still 3.3 seconds at the sharp end of this race.
Kárai has taken some time back here, Tom. This is going to be super close at the Joker merge. Will that extra momentum that Comte will have down the hill pay dividends? Kárai will be knowing this circuit so much better than Comte. He'll know to run the car that little bit wide on the exit. They need to avoid contact though at the Joker merge.
It's going to come down to this then, up to 3.5 seconds as we go into the Joker with Comte then. Has he done enough to get the overcut, to get the overspeed, and to get the victory on Kárai through into the final couple of corners we go. Onto the emerge of the Joker. Kárai, to the roar of the crowd, does lose out to second place as Comte emerges back onto the track with the lead, and he will come around the final corner to win the RX5 final here in Hungary. Valentin Comte takes the checkered flag from Kárai on home soil. Ugar will complete the podium in P3 as well. Well, that was a frantic and fast end to that race, and Valentin Comte, his last lap in particular, he just did enough to get the better of Kárai once he came back out of the merge. Confirmation of the results. Valentin Comte takes victory for France then here in Hungary. The hometown hero, Kárai, has to settle for the bridesmaid position in P2, and Martin Ugar on to the rostrum in P3 as well. That'll be doing him some favours in terms of the overall championship standings. Marco Muru, and then of course Tim Braumüller failing to make the checkered flag after he smashed it into the wall. And well, this is what it means then for Valentin Comte. Started it on pole position, had a lot of pressure on him from Kárai after the Joker strategies worked out, and that was the battle for the victory that came right down to the wire.
Brilliant job by Comte. I thought Kárair's strategy had actually worked there, just to cover off Ugar behind and get track position. But when it really mattered, Comte, who had that contact early on in the first corner, just into the rear of Kárai, then just smashed in the sectors. It wasn't loads, it was 10th by 10th by 10th. But that's when it really counts, isn't it? You just have to maximise every single apex, maximise every braking area. This was the Joker merge between Brouwmüller and Ugar. Brouwmüller will be gutted to have dropped it here, just slightly offline. Bang into the wall. Lots of damage to the Volland Racing run machine. This is the merge though for the race win. Comte running around the outside. What a brilliant job, and absolutely fair driving from the pair of them not to have contact at the merge. Let's hear now from the race winner of RX5 here in Hungary.
Valentin Komp, you are the RX5 winner here in Hungary. How does it feel?
Yes, I'm very happy. It's the second race with the Ligier cross car, second race in Rallycross, and yes, first win. It's better Africa because 0 points for the championship. Yes, I'm very happy. Thanks all the team. Thanks Ligier, thanks my sponsor and my friend Jaco, my friend Hugo for the mechanic. Thank you.
Congratulations, enjoy it.
Thank yous all round there for Valentin Comte, the Frenchman, to take victory then here in the final of RX5. Where was he in the championship coming into this? Down in 12th place after, yeah, he didn't exactly have a brilliant weekend in Riga. So that is now kickstarting his season, albeit around delayed.
Absolutely, yeah, and Ugar has had the pace, as we said, in both the opening rounds, hasn't worked out. Brouwmüller's still being recovered out of the wall in the first corner. It just goes like that, doesn't it? And the championship is all about just building when you can and trying to build these points throughout the whole season. So things can change yet as well. We could easily have a bad weekend in Höljes, or it might go amazingly well again. You just can't predict it, especially in a class as competitive as RX5.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we're going to have a new championship leader after this one as well. We'll wait and see how that all works out once we get confirmation of it then, but more action on the way here. Over to RX4 then, and it's time for the final for these drivers. This is going to be an interesting one. Filip Melon has absolutely dominated things so far this weekend. The Polish driver, he's won every single qualifying race he's participated in. He is now on pole position for the finals with Ivo Gabrans alongside on that front row of the grid. Row 2 is Andrea Benazet, the Frenchman, with Haochen Deng for company. Those two, well, they've had a bit of history this weekend. They crashed out in the qualifiers yesterday. More on that later. Thomas Conte and Albert Koch completing the 6-driver strong field. No semi-finals for these drivers, and crash-tested notice there on the side of Haochen Deng's Volland racing car. Yeah, I mean, look, gaffer tape is usually the play we have here in Rallycross by some RX specs. That thing's brand new.
yeah, you could say that, and fair play to the Volland Racing squad for getting that car back on the grid. Second row for the final. You can still do a lot from there.
Certainly can. So then, we're up to a 6-lapper here for these drivers in RX4. There are the fans watching on in the grandstand. The revs will be ready to rise. Anti-lag will be on for these drivers, and we will get ready for the Euro RX4 final here in Hungary. How does this one play out then as the red light about to come on? Melon on pole position, Gabrand alongside, Benazet and Deng on row 2. Lights go green, we go racing. Good little launch there from Filip Melon. Nice one as well from Benazet, but he's going to get boxed in and not maybe have the opportunity to use it. Kensei goes to the inside. Can Conte manage to make anything stick there? Don't think he was quite able to. He's into the side of Gabrans though, gives him a tap into turn 2, pushes him wide. He's got side by side now, and Haochen Deng's ready to join in the party. 3 abreast as they come on the run down into turn 4. Who's going to be last at the late breakers as a wing mirror flicks off there, and Deng as well as Conte into the side of one another. Deng though does get the position as Gabrans holds on to 3rd.
3 wide through turn 3. These drivers are not scared at all, are they? We've seen no other category dare to do that. Deng moves up a position. In the background, it's Albert Koch at the rear of this field at the moment. Into the Joker goes Conce at the opening opportunity. But I can guarantee you, Filip Melon was super nervous ahead of our media pen interviews last night here in Hungary, but he would have been even more nervous into that first corner. We've seen so much action there this weekend, Tom. He's been so fast with qualifying, but it's just about getting through that first corner and avoiding the carnage. Now he can just do what he's done all weekend, keep his head down, try and set the pace and lead from the front, and he's doing that with the experience and the composure of someone who's done far more racing at this level than he has.
Yeah, just 15 years old is Philip Mellon, and as you say, great job from him. He's a two-time Polish Rallycross champion in the Seicento Cup that they have over there, but the driver from Warszawa has put in a commanding performance so far this weekend, pulling out a gap of 1.1 seconds at the end of lap 1 over Andrea Benezet. Ivo Gabrand's there in the green and orange machine, sitting in P3. Höljes coming under a bit of pressure now from Albert Koch as well, as we come across the timing line then here. Mellon last time around a 47.6, whereas you look at likes of Benezet, etc., there was a 47.9, so he's about 0.3 of a second in his pocket, and that's why he's building up the gap to 1.5 seconds.
Doing a great job, isn't he? It's remarkable how you can just have such turnaround from the opening round and be in such a comfortable position. By the same token, Koch struggling here relative to how it was in Riga, but chatting to Tommy Hellman, who was in the studio with you earlier on, Tom, it's just a difficult place to learn, isn't it, when you're 14 years old and you've been to a circuit before. Maybe Riga was a bit of an easier start for Koch's career in RX4, and this has been a real challenge, but they're learning every time they go on track. These young drivers.
They get a good amount of track time in this as well, as Deng's got into the Joker. 3.4 seconds is the average Joker lost time. So Mellon's going to wait for this one. He's going to wait and see what Benezet does as well. He's got a comfortable cushion at the moment. The gap's actually come down. It was up to 1.5 seconds. Just shrunk down to about 1.1 over the last lap there. You can see pretty much matched in terms of times. There is Benezet in the silver and red machine. There is Gabrand with that wing mirror that, as we know, has taken a bit of a beating. Likewise, Albert Koch actually as well. His wing mirror has been pushed on the inside as well. But fourth place for him at the moment, a little bit sideways over the crest of the hill. It's the fastest part of the circuit here at Nyirád, and even in these front-wheel drive machines, they're not the most powerful cars we have by any stretch of the imagination, but you've got to throw some proper commitment to keep the momentum up in these corners.
Especially in front-wheel drive, you just got to stay in the frontal avenue and hope that the front wheels drag you in the direction you want to go. Mellon for sure has to go to the end here, unless everyone joking is behind him. It's just not worth the risk to drop into the traffic for absolutely no reason. Still setting the pace, to be fair, fastest in every sector last time around over Benezet in second. So feeling that feeling when you're just feeling so comfortable in the car, not feeling the pressure. What a great job the young Pole is doing.
Yeah, it's ebbing and flowing, this gap. It's now going back up again, isn't it, here between Philip Mellon. He's got the hammer down, hasn't he, on this penultimate lap. Does anybody behind go Joker then for this one? Try and cover off the drivers from behind. Yeah, we do get Gabrand's going in. So let's see what he can do and where he's going to emerge. I think he's going to be behind Koch, and also, yes, actually behind Conce for that matter as well. Deng's clearly at a moment because he's dropped right off the tail end of this field. So for Höljes Deng, he's just crawling past the commentary position there as well. So whether he's at a tap with the barrier or whether it's entirely mechanical, not 100% sure at the minute, but there he is. He's going slow. I think he might try and get round on this one, but yeah, not a happy end to the race for Höljes Deng. If he takes the checkered flag, he'll at least get some points in the championship, but yeah, he's not going anywhere near the sort of pace you would be beginning to expect. He's actually going to get lapped here by Philip Mellon.
Needs to get
as
out of
well.
the way.
Does, yeah. The white flag's out, isn't it? Just to warn the drivers behind, and yeah, Deng just moves off the line there, so he's not going to carry on. Right, Mellon into the Joker then on this final lap, followed by Benezet. Koch's going to go through there as well, and those three drivers should hold on to their places. Actually, I'll tell you what, Koch could be under threat here from Conce and Gabrand. No, he just about manages to hold it on, doesn't he? No, he doesn't. He gets overtaken by Gabrand and Conce. Right, over the line we go. Philip Mellon takes the win in the RX4 final here in Hungary. Benezet over the line in P2, and Thomas Conce snatches the final place on the podium with Gabrand ahead of Albert Koch at the checkered flag. And Höljes Deng, we know, of course, a DNF following whatever went wrong for the Chinese driver. He's just about managing to keep it going, actually. He did pull off to the circuit earlier on, but he has gone through to take the checkered flag. And that's important because he'll get some points on the board, at least, if nothing else. Right, let's get confirmation of those results here for Euro RX4. Mellon takes the win from Benezet and Thomas Conce. That's your podium here in Hungary for this class. Sheer domination then for Philip Mellon, the Polish driver in the Peugeot 208. He's stood on top of the car and he's going absolutely crazy down there as well in front of the crowd here in Hungary. It's his first final win in Euro RX4, and I don't want to say it an anonymous weekend last time out in Riga, but he certainly didn't show the pace that we saw from him this weekend. He knows this track, I think, quite well, and he's driven superlatively, won every single qualifier and also showed domination in the final.
What a remarkable performance for such a young driver with such pressure at this level. There was action in the final, but Philip Mellon was well clear of that, wasn't he? Even setting the fastest sectors when he didn't really need to. Come the end, Albert Koch will have some homework to do ahead of returning for the next round at Höljes in Sweden in early July for the Magic Weekend. There is the young Estonian coming out of the Joker. Latvian Gabrands didn't get the result he wanted, but Philip Mellon, what a stunning, stunning performance to take victory here with an absolute clean sweep here in Hungary.
Well, going into this weekend in RX4, it was Andrea Benezet who was leading the championship from Albert Koch, and he still does lead it, but now it's from Philip Mellon. Mellon up into second position. Conce also holds on to third place. Hauschendane, the sort of big loser with that one as he drops down into P5. Koch goes from P2 to, where's that now, into fourth place, isn't it, in the standings with Ivo Gabrands, Anna Rusek, who didn't make it into the final, just ahead of Leonard Lepsis. Of course, Leonard's not here this weekend in Hungary. Well, that was an exciting weekend's worth of racing for RX4, and its domination from Philip Mellon, then the Polish driver here in Hungary. Let's go down and catch up with our winner.
Philip Mellon, it's your first win here in the Euro RX4 category. How do you feel?
I'm feeling very good. The best weekend in my career. Thank you for my team, for my family, and for Polish fans. Thank you. And yes, this was a very fantastic, perfect weekend for us, and we are very happy. Yes.
Perfect. Perfect. Great job. Well done. Enjoy it.
Thank you. See you.
Straight to the grid then for Euro RX3. It's time to go for the final for these front-wheel drive 1600cc Screamers. Can't wait to see how this one is going to work out. The momentum is very much with Julien Mounier. Pole position for him. Won it in semi-final 1, but semi-final 2 winner British Kirklis alongside the Lithuanian driver. Row 2 is occupied by Samuel Kovacs. The hometown hero will be hoping for a strong result in front of his crowd here in Nyirád, with Marcus Rosrud for company alongside. Then it's Dylan Dufas in the Volkswagen Polo, the white and blue machine, and Libor Tejes, who lines up on the outside of the back row of the grid. He lined up there in the semi-finals, actually, and made an absolute worldie of a start, so keep an eye out and see what sort of a launch he can get from there. But 6 laps then, ready to go for these drivers here in the final for RX3. Keen to see how this one is going to play out. Championship battles, of course, will be emerging. Mounier, the winner from Riga a few weeks ago. British Kirklis, his nearest championship rival, alongside him on the front row of the grid. The marshal clears, points to the light in gantry. Ready to race, board is on. Wait for the 4 red lights to go out. Green light and go. Who gets the best initial launch? Dufas tries to move over there in the background. Not a great start, though, from the pole sitter of Julien Mounier. Kirklis draws alongside him. Rosrud up into P3. Gets a bit of a tap from behind. Over the crest of the hill we go through turn 1. And it is going to be Mounier who does get the inside line, does get the race lead away from British Kirklis and Marcus Rosrud.
Mounier, not the best start, as you say, but just used all of his experience at this level to defend into the first corner from Kirklis, who was trying around the outside. Kirklis was disappointed yesterday to not be right at the front of the order.
He's super wide through there, and he loses a place to Sam Kovacs in the process of that one. Into the Joker goes Libor Tejes as well, so he ducks out of the traffic, tries to get an alternate strategy going for him, but so wide there for the Norwegian. Marcus Rosrud just about kept it out of the barrier, but look at what it's doing now. It's a release Samuel Kovacs. Can he close up, though, onto the back of the top 2?
Massive job from Dylan Dufas' team to get that Volkswagen Polo repaired after that roll he had in the final corner in Riga just a few weeks ago. He'll be pleased to be in the final. We want you to make ground, as will Rosrud ahead, who was caught in that contact yesterday afternoon. Someone's got a misfire, I think, behind us in the commentary position. Not sounding very well at all is one of the engines, but up front, Julien Mounier edging ahead, now nearly a second the margin between him and Kirklis.
So down in towards the Joker section we go. Nobody going Joker on the top 2. Not much of a surprise there. Sam Kovacs also hasn't got the margin. Into the background goes Dufas, and into the Joker he goes goes there as well. So he's got a bit of clear track because, of course, Libor Tejez from behind has Joker, but no, because Tejez has actually managed to make that early Joker work quite nicely and got the undercut on Dufas's Volkswagen Polo to move his way back up into 4th position. Over the crest of the hill we go, meanwhile, into turn 1, 0.8 of a second, separating them, and that's Rosrud into the wall on the exit of T1, just about manages to avoid being collected, but he backed his way over the crest there, must have dropped it going over the hill.
Rosrud's had a fairly exuberant ride so far in this final round. Wide going down the hill on the opening lap, didn't he, into the loose gravel, has kept it going. Obviously the contact wasn't that bad that it's damaged the car. Kovács on his own in no man's land really at the moment, running P3, being dropped by the leading 2 Audis.
It's Görklis and Meunier then that need to see how this one is going to work out. Let's have a look at what happened then to Rosrud. We're coming down the start-finish straight. We're going to go over the crest of the hill. There's a big bit of dust in front, and he just hits a rut there, just loses the rear as you come over the crest, and that is going to be about as frightening of a moment as you're going to have, because it's completely blind through turn 1.
Just backed it into the wall. You can see the damage on the rear of the car. If anything, it'll have squashed the exhaust a bit. Maybe that's the noise we were hearing, if it's hampering the flow of the exhaust. Kovács, the gap between him and Tejas is touch and go at the moment, actually, Tom, for him to get in and out of the Joker and get a home podium. So he'll want to stay out, I think, and try and increase that margin.
Well, that early Joker there. Kovács now goes into the Joker. Where is Tejez going to be in relation to this? There he is in the background, and he's going to be getting the hammer down. And he'll be having the hurry up with the spotter on the radio. On the emerge we go. Needs to be absolutely perfect here for Samuel Kovács. He gets the overcut on Tejez, and he does manage to hold on to 3rd place. Could be a home podium then on the cards here for the Hungarian.
Just to prove me totally wrong by taking the Joker, and I said he should stay out, but look at the attitude of Tejez's car at the merge. Just ran the nose deep in a bid to defend, but the Hungarian Kovács had already gone through. Great job from him. Didn't look likely to be on the podium earlier on in this race, so a solid job from the Skoda Fabia driver. Solid more so, though, for Julien Meunier, who won the opener in Riga, which is a track that really suits the French drivers from their grippy experience. This is a very different venue coming here for the first time.
Yeah, Görklis goes Joker. He had to. He's got to try something different. He's not going to pass Meunier out on the racetrack, is he? And now he's got that clear track because Kovács jokered last time around. So Görklis goes through. He's in clear air. Needs to have the first 2 sectors of his life to get the overcut then, or the undercut rather, on Julien Meunier, who's on the final lap, but he set the fastest lap last time around as well. He's into the 45.7s. He'll know that, of course, Görklis has gone into the Joker. He'll have had the spotter on the radio, and it's now or never for Meunier versus Görklis in this battle for victory.
Damien Meunier, Julian's spotter and older brother, will just be giving him the splits now on the stopwatch up in the commentary position as they cross the sectors. He's lost a 10th to Görklis this time around as he goes into the Joker, but it's not going to be enough, I don't think, if he can maximise this tight corner.
4 seconds, the gap between the 2. There's Görklis down the bottom. Here comes Meunier on the re-emerge. It's tight between them, but Meunier holds him off. He holds the challenge from Richard Görklis, and it's going to be 2 wins in 2 rounds for the Frenchman. Julien Meunier takes the final win in Euro RX3 here in Hungary from Richard Görklis. Samuel Kovács will take a podium on home soil here in Hungary as well. A fantastic drive and a commanding performance from Julien Meunier as well. Marcus Rosrud will leave them home as well in P6. He'll be disappointed to have missed out on an opportunity after ending up in the wall in that final, but nonetheless some all-important points on the board for him as well. Well, let's get confirmation of the final then for Euro RX3. Julien Meunier takes his 2nd successive final win here for 2026 of RX3. Görklis in P2 and Kovács on the podium in 3rd. Well, the fans absolutely love that one. They're blasting past our commentary position. They're going absolutely mad down here in Hungary. They are loving that one. Here is how it all worked out from the start. It wasn't a particularly brilliant launch away from the line for Meunier. It allowed Görklis to pull alongside. Meunier, though, had track position on the inside and was just able to muscle out the Lithuanian as they went through into turn 2. This is Rosrud's moment on the opening lap. That's about as close to an accident as you get here in Hungary on the fastest part of the circuit. And then for good measure, he stuffed it into the wall a little bit later on as well. Here it is. Just backed it in under braking and into the wall on the outside of turn 1. Thankfully managed to avoid too much drama and eventually came home to take the checkered flag. That's Samuel Kovács as he got into P3, and this is the Joker on the final lap. Julien Meunier, of course, getting the better of Richard Görklis. Right then, it's the big one. Time for the final for Euro RX1. It all comes down to this. And what a weekend's worth of racing we have been treated to. Johan Kristoffersson, the championship leader, hasn't had it all his own way. And it's Andreas Bakkerud, the TQ man, the man who's dominated things so far as the standings are concerned here in Hungary, is on pole position with the KMS driver for company alongside. Row 2, Joni Torpainen with Juha Rukkanen, his set promotion teammate for company, Fiesta and a Hyundai i20. OC Baby, can he bring a helping hand to Kristoffersson's challenge here this weekend? We'll see how he gets on with Kasper Jansen into the final. Well, some are making their adrenaline, or getting their adrenaline from other sources here in Hungary, from bungee jumps, and here we are ready to go for the final of Euro RX1. Anti-lag on, revs are rising. Green light and go. Who gets the best launch? Kristoffersson's away okay, but look though at Bakkerud and also Torpainen going through on the inside. Rukkanen muscles out. Kristoffersson
in the wall!
Kristoffersson's in the wall. Big crash there for Johan Kristoffersson, the championship leader. That's absolutely huge.
Bakkerud moved across on Kristoffersson in the run to the first corner, forced the Swede wide. He was in the wall on the outside. Tom, disaster for the Swede.
That's absolutely massive then for him. So Bakkerud it is that leads. Torpainen in second. Rukkanen in second. Torpainen is in third place. There's Kasper Jansen up into fourth place with OC Baby into fifth. Into the Joker on the opening lap we go with Torpainen and Baby, who is very deep indeed. Did he hit the wall?
Just kept out of the wall. I think this is Kristoffersson on the inside. Torpainen's got up the inside of Kristoffersson. It has not worked out at all for the 8-time World Rallycross champion. He's the leader of those drivers who, well, he hasn't jokered yet, sorry. So it's Torpainen and Weber. Oh! Kasper Jansen drops it out of turn 2.
Big slide through turn 2. Proper style points there for Kasper Jansen. Just about keeps it on the straight and narrow, and he's sniffing an opportunity of a podium. But there's Torpainen. He's already joking with Kristoffersson, bearing down on the Finnish driver through turn 4 here.
Look at the attitude of Kristoffersson's car. They absolutely means business as he's filling the mirrors of Joni Torpainen's Ford Fiesta into the Joker for Johan Kristoffersson. This time around he's run a little bit wide, but he's going to drop to the back of the pack.
Yeah, let's see how this works out then for Kristoffersson. He's going to drop behind his teammate OC Baby. It's a salvage job now then here for the championship leader. Needs to secure as many points as he possibly can to not lose that lead of the championship to Andreas Bakkerud. Over the line we go. Bakkerud will have the spotter on the radio saying this is absolutely perfect. Carry on as you are. Drive the race of your life and you'll be securing victory. He's got a second 1.3 now over Juha Rukkanen in P2.
Visor down for Andreas Bakkerud. He always means business when he's hiding his eyes behind that visor, nice and tidy into the standard lap. Jussi Pinnamäki on the radio is the man that gave Bakkerud his opportunity in Super 1600 all those years ago in 2010. Now they're back working together this season. Pinnamäki on the radio.
This is Ty. Jansen just manages to split the two KMS drivers then, so it goes from bad to worse for Johan Kristoffersson as he doesn't emerge in front of Kasper Jansen there he is. So now he's going to hope that his teammate OC Baby will play a team game and try and back him up and allow him an opportunity to try and challenge for position.
What a remarkable job Joni Torpainen's done this weekend. He said yesterday that his tyres were gone. He said in the interviews last night that he wouldn't be able to do anything this afternoon unless it rained. Kasper Jansen's got bundles of understeer there coming down the hill. Joker Predictor says Andreas Bakkerud's going to be okay out front, back to third position at the moment, but Torpainen set for another podium, Tom, in a row.
Yeah, Bakkerud's going to wait for the last opportunity. Here's Kristoffersson, we're on board with him, gives a tap to Jansen as we come through into that hairpin, not able to find his way past him at the moment. There'll be so much frustration behind the wheel of the cockpit of the Swedish driver, the 8-time World Rallycross champion. He'll know that that opportunity has fallen away. Jansen very sideways. That's the door open for Kristoffersson, who goes through and into 5th place down at turn 2.
That's how championships are won, Tom, by maximising every opportunity you can. Kristoffersson gets a position. That'll be another point for him at the end of this race. That could prove critical towards the end of the season. Jansen wide again coming down the hill.
Rukkanen into the Joker then from P2. Where's he going to emerge in relation to Torpainen? I think he's going to be all right. Through it he goes now. Torpainen's had mirrors full of OC Baby for the last couple of laps as he's been soaking up the pressure from the other KMS driver, the Norwegian, who sits in P4, is trying to get onto the podium for that team. He's trying to muscle his way through as we now begin the final lap of the RX1. Final here, and it's Bakkerud in front with a Joker left to go.
4.1 seconds the margin Andreas Bakkerud has over Juha Rukkanen. Now he will be pushing just to extend that margin so he doesn't have to maximise the Joker section. We're going to cross the spur split. 21.9 for Andreas Bakkerud, and it is 21.8 for Rukkonen. I don't think it's going to be enough. Bakkerud nice and calm here in the Joker.
Beautiful stuff there from Andreas Bakkerud. He's timed this one absolutely perfectly, barring a mistake in this Joker section. I think he's going to come out ahead of Johan Rukkonen, and he does. What a job from Andreas Bakkerud and the Bergen Motorsport team. He comes around the final corner, and it will be victory in Hungary for Andreas Bakkerud. What a drive from the Norwegian here in Nyirád, ahead of Johan Rukkonen and Joni Torpainen on the podium. Disaster for KMS with Ossi Väby and Johan Kristoffersson missing out on the podium after that drama on the opening lap.
Look at Bakkerud, he's shaking in the car. He has won at every level in Rallycross, but to win with your own team, having created it from scratch over the winter, he was delighted to get a qualifying win in Q1. Look at him now, he's going to Petter Solberg style, get out of the car. What a brilliant performance from Andreas Bakkerud.
They're going absolutely mad right by our commentary position, Hal. I've just seen the Bakkerud Blue fans. They've got their arms up. They are delighted with that. They're delighted with it here in the grandstands as well. And what a performance from Andreas Bakkerud. Let's not forget, of course, he wasn't on the grid here last year. He was in co-commentary this time at 12 months ago, back on the grid with that Ford Fiesta. The driver from Bergen in Norway at 34 years of age takes victory here in Hungary. Patrick O'Donovan joining me in commentary post that race. Patrick, that was absolutely brilliant. What do you make of it?
He's drinking tonight.
Right then, Andreas Bakkerud then, delight for the Norwegian as he takes the win, and I'm sure will be taking the lead of the championship as well. Let's have a look at the race results then here, with the celebrations now ongoing. It's a set promotion 1, 2, 3 effectively. Of course, a lot of promotion for and support from the set promotion team for Andreas Bakkerud and his team this year. But confirmation of the results in Euro RX1 final. Andreas Bakkerud takes the win from Johan Rukkonen and Joni Torpainen. Ossi Väby and Johan Kristoffersson losing out in the battle for victory here for KMS, and then Kasper Jansen over the line in P6 in his first final. Well, let's have a look at some replays then from that one. Bakkerud actually got a pretty good start. You can see Kristoffersson alongside. Just got a tap there from Johan Rukkonen, sent him into the barrier, facing around the wrong way, got it back on the gas pretty okay. And then up in front, it was Bakkerud then with Torpainen bearing down on Rukkonen for P2. We saw some sideways moments here for Kasper Jansen. He looked really at sea. I wonder whether there was something wrong with the car, because it was as loose as we've seen it all weekend. He just seemed to be struggling with oversteer throughout the entirety of that one, and even more so on this occasion. That opened the door for Kristoffersson to walk through it and at least gain something in this race up into P5, and this is when it all worked out in the Jokers as well. Rukkonen up out ahead of Joni Torpainen. Väby there into the back of the Ford Fiesta driver for P3 as well, but not able to get the better of him. However, it is Andreas Bakkerud who is the man that wins the Euro RX1 final here in Hungary, ahead of Rukkonen and Joni Torpainen. Let's go down and catch up with our winner, Andreas Bakkerud.
Andreas Bakkerud, you have won at every level in Rallycross, but never with your own team in a car run by your friends and family and people you've worked with for a long time. How does this victory feel?
Yeah. It means the world. Yeah, we fight hard, and I'm not meaning to stand here crying, but it means a lot. It was good.
So important to get a good start in the final. You came across a little bit on your end just to give yourself that opportunity in the first corner, and then it's just about hitting your marks. How much pressure did you have going into that one?
A lot. There's not often you get the chance to go door to door next to a 8-time world champion. And Johan is such a beast, he's such a character, such a driver. So, I mean, we come here with a car painter, ventilation guy, a paint, sticker guy. We do a good job.
And to do this with Jussi Pinnamäki on the radio, he gave you that opportunity in Super 1600 all of those years ago, even more special.
He does, and qualifying top qualifier as well. First into the semi, pole in the final. Last time I was pole, Barcelona 21 with GCK, I think. So it's been forever. Oh, it's just, it's been many years, you know. tough time in America, coming back here, racing, starting a new chapter, and feel the sport is back supporting us. So I'm just sorry here. It's a lot of things going in. So.
Thank you, Andreas. Make sure you enjoy it.
An emotional Andreas Bakkerud then after taking the win here in Hungary. What a job from the man from Bergen, 34 years of age. As we said, he's not had his own way over the last couple of seasons. Without a drive last year, opportunity to get back in the car for 2026, and he has most certainly delivered with a very strong result. So let's see how he can do over the remainder of the season. Delighted to be joined in commentary by Patrick O'Donovan. Patrick, look, I imagine, obviously, really good to see Andreas taking the win, but on the other side, mixed emotions for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, Andreas, the childhood hero. I mean, I think anybody around the similar age to me or younger growing up watched Andreas on TV and probably played as him in the video games as well. So, I mean, yeah, he's driven absolutely exceptionally this weekend. And like I said earlier, he deserves everything that came to him because he's done an absolutely incredible job. But, I mean, yeah, heartbreak for myself. I did the hard work, and I mean, we beat OC in the quarterfinal, sorry, and then into the semi. I beat him out of the Joker. I couldn't have gone any further wide because I was on the absolute limit of where the grip is before you hit the marbles, and I mean, he was completely off his line. If you go back to any other lap, he just drove out there with the intent to hit me, and you can see his car go sideways. You're telling me the best car in Rallycross, if he doesn't want it to, isn't going to be going forward at that point. He's driven there to take me out, and I mean, yeah, it's a really bitter pill to swallow, and I just hope we can get out for Höljes at this point, because at the moment, looking at the car in there, it's really unlikely. Well,
sorry to hear that, Patrick. Let's go down and catch up with our second place finisher then, Juha Rukkanen.
Juha, you were super disappointed after Riga. It just didn't work out for you, but a really solid weekend here in Hungary. Maybe not the most exciting final ever, but you managed the pace really well and a brilliant result.
Oh yes, it's the amazing final. It's the really hard battle with the guys, and but I think now we showed what we can do together, the whole team, and I think that is for me it's also the feels like to win this race, and yes, I'm really happy.
Thank you, Juha. Congratulations. Thank you.
Juha Rukkanen, P2 here in Hungary for the set promotion drive. You can see a fair bit of support. This is Damian Litvinovic's fan club behind us then. It's his last round in Euro RX. The fans have been mega here this weekend. They've loved it. They've loved it. Of course, Litvinovic not making it through into the finals there, but getting into the semis in his final weekend. Right, let's have a look at the championship standings after 2 rounds. Andreas Bakkerud now tops of the tables. He takes the lead over Johan Kristoffersson, the 8-time world champion. OC Baby into 3rd, Turpinen and then Juha Rukkanen complete your top 5. Let's get P3 on the go.
Joni Tapainen, yesterday evening you told me you needed rain to be able to fight at the front this afternoon. Your tyres are not in great shape. How pleased are you to get your 2nd podium in a row in the European Rallycross Championship?
Of course, I have to be happy. It's crazy. Three set promotion team cars on the podium, so we have to be happy.
How much did you look to the inside there of Kristoffersson in the first corner? Andreas opened the door up a little bit. You had the nose there, but you've got to be sensible in those situations as well, haven't you?
Yeah. It was just I wanted to keep the car clean, and just I saw everyone going like rockets everywhere, so I just went to the brake pedal and took the place I had.
More good points for the championship, and I guess it puts you in a good position ahead of Höljes.
Yeah, it's a good position for Höljes, and now we have a bit better tires, so that's a good point also.
Thank you, Joni, well done.
Joni Tapainen, P3 for him here in Hungary. Confirmation of those championship standings once again. Andreas Bakkerud now has a point over Johan Kristoffersson. OC Baby still there in 3rd place as well. Further down the order, you can see Damian Litvinovic, who we saw his fan club behind us a couple of moments ago, just ahead of Fabian Paye, who catapults himself up the order. Zoltan Konchek, who wasn't here this weekend, down to P11. Johannes Raffos also making some ground, and likewise Ulrich Lindemann as well. We had him in commentary earlier on during the semi-finals for RX3. He's now up into 14th place ahead of Paulius Plaskovas, who was into the semis, the Lithuanian driver. Maiko Tan, they're down in 16th position as well. It has been a really exciting weekend's worth of racing, and some drivers have really been able to make some good ground in the championships for that matter, and excited to see how it is going to develop. But Andreas Bakkerud then takes his first win in a very, very long time here for Euro RX 1. He's the man on top in Hungary. And now the championship leader as we head into Höljes, the home round, of course, of the man who's now second in the championship, Johan Kristoffersson. Well, celebrations well underway. Crowd absolutely loved that one, and I'm not surprised at all. Brilliant action wherever you looked, actually, in all of the different classes. You can see the celebrations then down on the podium. And let's get these podium celebrations then underway.
Amazing finals, amazing semi-finals, and very,
so then, the crowd down there here in Nyirád.
A big drama, actually, because
and third position for Joni Turpeinen, second for Juha Rukkanen, and of course first for Andreas Bakkerud. At Nyirád, just waiting for these drivers to be making their way onto the podium. The local announcer there just talking to the crowd and explaining what's been going on. I really enjoyed that, Hal. I am absolutely cream crackered now, though.
How emotional was Andreas Bakkerud? He almost set me off, to be honest, because seeing someone who achieved something that it means so much to is incredible, and sport has such a way of bringing those emotions, doesn't it? And especially for someone who's achieved so much to still be feeling that, yeah, amazing.
Yeah, super good from Andreas Bakkerud. Now time for those top three finishers to be making their way onto the rostrum. You can hear the crowd delighted with that one.
From Finland, with set promotion, Joni Turpeinen!
Joni Turpeinen onto the podium, P3 for the 17-year-old. That's his second successive podium in Euro RX1, fresh off the back of that third-place finish in Riga. For Juha Rukkanen, that's his best result of the season. He was P6 in the standings after we finished things in Riga last time, and as I said, basically a set promotion 1, 2, 3. They've been giving some support to Andreas Bakkerud throughout this season. Their awning is situated right next to the set promotion team, and for Andreas Bakkerud, it cannot be overstated just how much this will mean to the 34-year-old from Bergen in Norway. It's been a long road back to the top, and he will now drink up every single drop of the atmosphere and the joy in front of him. Now time for the national anthems. The national anthem of Norway plays out for Andreas Bakkerud, and of course for the Bergen Motorsport team here as well. Two Ford Fiestas on the podium with Andreas Bakkerud and Joni Turpeinen, and of course the Hyundai i20 with Juha Rukkanen there as well. James Nixon from the FIA presenting the trophies to the top three finishers. Third place, good consistency for Joni Turpeinen. Great way to continue that strong form. Second place for Juha Rukkanen, his best finish in Euro RX in 2026. That'll do him no harm at all in terms of the championship battle. And for Andreas Bakkerud, it's a return to winning ways at last on the biggest stage in Rallycross. He's a winner in Euro RX for 2026, for Bergen Motorsport and for the Norwegian driver. It is absolute delight here in Hungary as he celebrates in front of the crowd, lifts the trophy high up into the sky, and he has driven superlatively. Top qualifier, won his semi-final, and won that final as well.
We will see about that in a moment. So the official photos has been taken.
Photos taken then, and now it's time for the national of running and ducking and taking cover. And putting sunglasses on in the case of Andreas Bakkerud. Smart move there, because champagne, it sounds like it's a nice idea to spray it, but it absolutely reeks, and it stinks your eyes as well.
Does a bit.
Andreas Bakkerud then, the man on top, as he now leads the Drivers' Championship. Celebrations to continue. I'm sure some palinka will be shared around the paddock here tonight as well, and I'll take a wide berth of any rallycross drivers that are getting themselves involved with that. But let's take a look then, shall we, at some of the best action that we've seen this weekend here in Nyirád. Some highlights then from that final. Great start to life for Andreas Bakkerud. A tap, though, for Kristoffersson from Johan sent him into the barrier at turn 1, and how Ridge, that was ultimately a chance of any meaningful result in the final done.
Yeah, lucky for Kristoffersson, just got forced a bit wide on the way in, which Bakkerud was totally entitled to do. That opened up the door for a bit of carnage behind, and that's what you do with his experience at this level, just to give yourself that opportunity. Bakkerud was putting stickers on his car on Friday morning when we got to the paddock, Tom, and what a brilliant performance from the Norwegian, who has seen it all and delivered impeccably in the final.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming for Andreas Bakkerud, and a fantastic way to continue his strong format in 2026 as well, as he takes the win of round 2 here in Hungary and the lead of the championship.